with the hashtag CityCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
All right, so this time it's George Darko. I'm sure those of you who know. Yesterday we played Akoti Brofo, and I wrongly associated the song with Lee Dodo, which was actually a George Darko song. Although I think Lee did the lyrics on the particular version I played. But this is truly and well George Darko. It's called High Lifetime. It's still a Heritage Month, and I hope you're learning a thing or two. This week we have been focusing on some very interesting histories. Monday we spoke about the Angolan, and then we spoke about Fort Princeton yesterday as well. We had a discussion about the Asin. Today we'll go to a group called the Kushia. They are in the Asin area. They influence the Dentra, the Akwamus, and the Asante. Kweku Dakwanka will be taking us through that history this morning at 9:30. Starting off the newspaper review brought to you by Total Energies. We continuously innovate. We've redesigned our lubricant bottle into a modern and premium pack. A user-friendly bottle with a better side handle makes it easier to manage. A redesigned cap to avoid wastage and leaks. And a new label inspired by a car's dashboard with a QR code as well. This is innovation from Total Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer. It's an interactive show. This morning, I want us to talk about the road toll. So yesterday, while we were on air, the statement came. We saw the memorandum from the Ministry of Finance to the Ministry of Roads and the proposed increase in road tolls by 50 pesos. And the various schools of thought. So yes, this morning I heard on the news, Kennedy Osenyako, who's the chairman of the road committee, saying, what's the point in collapsing road tolls for a year and then increasing it by 50 pesos? He feels like it won't make any difference, all right? So he says we should increase it to 5 cedis. That's his view. Then the minority who had kicked against the cancellation of the road toll are now saying they will only support bringing it back if the road fund is decapped. This man was playing this capping business. So apparently there's a lot of caps. They've put caps on Get Fund, Road Fund, other funds have been capped. So the minority said they will only support the return of road tolls if the funds are recapped. So because apparently the tolls are paid and the money is part of the road fund. So they say they'll support. Now, I am inclined to say that instead of, I want to pay for the road, right? But I don't want to go and queue to pay. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the conversation should not even be about the capping or the uncapping. The conversation should be about how it's paid. So every year, if I have a car, I go to DVLA. DVLA has to give me a roadworthy certificate. I have to go and do some things. why don't you calculate how much you want me to pay for the year and give me a bulk figure and tell me that in addition to getting your roadworthy license, you've paid for your road toll. So they'll give you like the thing that Legon people give you, like some card, so that when I drive to the toll, it will just open. Okay, so there are three. So this morning, I want listeners to help me. We want to help shape the policy. Okay, because to do road toll for all the years we've done it, to break for a year and come back and go and queue at Tema again, to go through traffic, it will be hard. I don't know what you think, Sky.
Oh yeah, I mean, I express exactly the same view. I think it was yesterday when we saw the memorandum.
Yeah.
I made that point that look, we cannot go back to the old ways of doing things. La Côte d'Ivoire is using that system, as far as I know, on, for instance, the airport road. When you're going through the airport, going from Abidjan proper, going to the airport and all of that. So
you basically just drive to the toll and it opens on its own. You don't see a lot of queues.
No, I don't see queues. So if that is the way to go, and I believe that is the way to go, then we have to introduce it now. We should not bring the road tolls back without having
thought about
that's
the
right.
method. Because if you look at the memorandum, they were just focused on the money.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether that is the finance ministry's job to design the collection or the road ministry. But between the two of them, I believe some things should be done before this is put before the house.
There should be a smart way of doing it.
I mean, I'm thinking about the Cape Coast Road and the traffic. I'm thinking about those of us who drive towards Oyibi. When you get to Amrahia, in the morning, Tema, Basa. And honestly speaking, since the toll was scrapped, they haven't even renovated the place. They just left the place.
The booths have not changed in nature, in form.
Yeah.
So if we say we are bringing back the tolls, then we need to think widely about it. It's not just, let's collect the money.
And in fact, there's one of the worst ones is near the road minister's hometown. So when you are driving to Kumasi, when you get to Etiwa East, he's in Etiwa West. When you get to Etiwa East, Enyinam, Charlie, and that road toll, the potholes, they are not potholes, they're ramps. There are some tiny speed ramps. Very, very difficult.
As for road heading towards that side.
Yes, also another one.
As for ramps in this country, it is just like some illiterates who have no idea what road engineering is all about.
Maybe we should ask the standards for quality. Maybe we should ask the standards whether there's a standard for ramps. Because there are some ramps that are so comfortable. But it looks like some people, when they get angry, they do the ramp like Charlie, like blade. They want you to cut your ties. So, Standards Authority, please, is there a standard for making speed ramps? That should be accepted.
Yes. Is it?
Is there a specific length, diameter, a specific curvature?
And what about ramps that are constructed, for example, in areas where there are schools? Because I've seen ramps close to schools that don't look like the regular ramp. They are higher than your regular ramp.
And then there are these ramble strips that if you don't see it early, you
are gone.
Anyway, so let's start. I think the graphic has that road toll story, right?
Exactly. The story on that says that road tolls coming back. New rates proposed in memorandum, and comes with a photograph of the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amwako Atta. Also, the big story this morning is Nation Rewards Excellence and Sacrifice. Also, we are told this morning, constitutional review not panacea for development, according to Professor Nana S.K.B. Asante. And Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire move to address pollution of Bia Tano rivers.
Okay. The Ghanaian Times front page says, domestic debt exchange program, government to pay bondholders in 48 hours, finance ministry. But bondholders issue 48-hour ultimatum.
So it's too late now.
Other stories. Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire meet over transboundary water systems. Ghana hosts U.S. Vice President and spouse on March 25. And the finance ministry recommends fees charges for new road tolls. And if you go to the back page of the Ghanaian Times, Parliamentary Committee inspects 2024 Africa Games facilities, and health experts track progress of universal health coverage.
The Republic Press says this morning, GRA faces Ken, and we're talking about Kennedy Ejapong, as MPP reels under threats. Also expect your matured coupons within 48 hours. Government is telling bondholders. And I'm not arrogant. Free Ekwoto assets himself after resignation.
Okay, the Finder says Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire tackle river pollution caused by illegal mining activities. GRA is saying audit of Kenya Japan's businesses is standard practice, not harassment. BOG receives national honor for vital role in COVID-19 fight. And Dr. Kwabena Dufour says, I will install real-time collation system in 2024 for NDC.
The new publisher says this morning, road tolls return with 88% high jump. Toll booth toilets dropped. And the minister is looking like some army general. Okay. Also, GRA, which is not hunting Kennedy. While accusations are false, and Ashanti Reg Sec warn Lake Road stubborn drivers. And then there's a commentary here that says, easy, Ken. Easy.
This is the publisher.
Yeah. The Chronicle says, tension in Achim states. Ebuakwa and Kotoku still beating war drums over ownership of Adueje.
Oh boy.
And then there's the Ghana Cote d'Ivoire joint effort on water bodies. High consumption of processed foods causes kidney disease. That's according to a dietitian.
That's true.
And the Minority says it's time to abrogate National Cathedral project.
Kabudu rejectamenta.
Yeah. And let me take you to the BNFT, which is the final one for me. The big story says this morning, government commences payment on outstanding bonds. Have they commenced it? People,
they say they will commence. They haven't started paying.
Okay. And then also start observing new electrical appliance standards now, according to the Energy Commission. And there's another one on extractives that says that MIIF, GSC, Mincom on a course to deepen local ownership of minerals.
Okay, the new crusading guide says eradicating poverty, education is the way. That's according to Dr. Educhum. Akufo-Addo fires up private sector players, urges them to invest more. And other stories, Gandangbe's really for Alan. They say Eshe Alan no. I see.
Eshe no. Moving online, citynewsroom.com. No new projects. I will complete abandoned ones if I win 2024 polls. This is John Mahama. Meanwhile, expect your matured coupons within 48 hours. This is government. So as you read, individual bondholders are skeptical about the 48-hour promise, but the Ken says they will pay them. Abrogate National Cathedral contract, dissolve Board of Trustees. This is Ablakwa speaking. CCTV and CTFM, Sumari Sanda, and others receive state honors for role in COVID-19 fight. Still on citynewsroom.com, United States pledges to support Ghana hold back terrorism. Also, Achim Ebuakwa Traditional Council to install new chief for Nsawam Aduejiri. Hints of the story you read. Rashid Popo appeals to the IGP to probe the killing in Wa. My Joy Online is talking about the Minority. We need assurance that proceeds from road toll will not be used for National Cathedral. This is a Minority Chief Whip. Also, Controller and Accountant General Department staff demand Land Cruiser Prado instead of Toyota Camry for official duties. Yeah, man. And then Samira Baumia graduates with law degree from University of London. And then the road toll story is also here. The amount that drivers are supposed to pay. And then let's go to citybusinessnews.com. It's all about the ultimatum, this 48-hour matter. Government is assuring that they will pay the matured coupons. Meanwhile, Senor Jose says government is gradually destroying the financial markets. Yeah, he's not very happy with the whole discussion about the payment, the haircuts, the coupon delays, and all of those stories. So maybe let's start with those stories. There's a story globally that I thought would point out quickly. Russia pilots reckless in drone collision. So it's a collision between a U.S. surveillance drone which plunged into the Black Sea following an encounter with a Russian jet fighter. Please don't start.
Charlie, I beg you.
Stop
Please,
beating what drops.
We are here taking our haircut slowly.
Charlie?
And eating our plane about Bitaji. Please, please. So we do on our place.
They say Russia and US are doing some things over the Black Sea.
Continue like that. We know the inside, please.
Aren't they tired?
They say it was an accident. The US has accused Russia of reckless behavior after an American surveillance drone crashed into the Black Sea following an encounter with Russian fighter jets. So
what are they also doing there?
The US spy drone says the drone was on a mission.
With mission?
A routine mission in international in international airspace when two Russian jets tried to intercept it. Charlie, let's just do a fair same for now.
Anyway.
Okay, so we go to the
yes,
finance
DDEP.
minister.
Yes, and the finance ministry. This is on page 12 of the Ghanaian Times. The finance ministry is saying that it has commenced processes to settle payments on outstanding bonds. To this end, it has assured bondholders whose coupons and principals matured on February 6 and 13 this year to expect payments within the next 48 hours. This was contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry in Accra yesterday. But then bondholders too have their own thing.
Yeah, for example, Senyo Hosi, who is the convener of the individual bondholders, slammed the Finance Ministry, the GSC and the SEC over their woeful handling of the financial market. Speaking on Citi Prime News on Tuesday, he said the failure of the finance ministry to honor matured coupons payments and the lack of communication to individual bondholders who failed to subscribe to the domestic debt exchange program was disturbing. According to him, the finance ministry is gradually eroding the little confidence left in the financial markets. Then Edwan Anentwi and co are also expressing worry about the non-payment, but I think the finance ministry came back later to say they'll make the payment in 2 days. So that means by tomorrow they should expect the payment. We can keep an eye on that story.
Okay, Bernard, let me take you back to the story we're doing much earlier, which is the road tolls matter, if you wouldn't mind, because the new publisher has done a detailed work on the story.
All right.
And calculates that what we expect to pay or what they are recommending is 88% higher than what we used to pay.
All right.
And the story says that the government of Ghana has announced decisions to reintroduce the payment of road and bridge tolls nationwide with an average increment of 88% in the amounts charged for the tolls. Now, motorists in Ghana paid a compulsory bridge and road tolls until November 2021 when Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amakwata unilaterally cancelled set payments in a dramatic fashion that raised eyebrows and dropped jaws. Now, Kwesi Amakwata, after the cancellation, told Ghanaians that government will convert the abandoned toll booths into public washrooms in various parts of the country. Now, he said the logic was to ensure motorists and commuters stopped easing themselves by the roadside. And it goes on to provide further details and says that 16 months after the cancellation of the payment of the road tolls, it is clear that the toll booths to toilets or their conversion agenda has been abandoned because according to a letter from the Finance Ministry dated the March the 11th, 2023, signed by the Minister for Finance, Kenneth Oriata, and addressed to the Minister for Roads and Highways, government, as it had stated in the 2023 budget, has resolved to reintroduce the road tolls, and we are told that there will be amendment of the related, provisions. And it goes on to provide details of what the majority leader in Parliament has been saying and how much the government intends.
Let me give you a related story. The minority say that they will need assurance that proceeds from the road toll will not be used for National Cathedral before they proceed to support it. Now, Governor Kwame Abuja is also, prior to this appointment, was the ranking member on the Roads Committee. So he's a guy who's been speaking about this for a while. He has said that the minority in Parliament will not support an increase in the amount charged as road toll unless they are convinced that the proceeds will be used for road-related expenditure. On Citi News, he said that they also want a decapping of the road fund as a precondition for approving the increase. He says minority will never support the amendment if the Capping and Realignment Act is still on the road fund. So what I'll say is watch this space.
I see. Talking about, funds and building things, the back page of the Ghanaian Times says, Parliamentary Committee inspects 2024 Africa Games facilities. Now, members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Youth, Sports and Culture on Monday undertook a working tour of facilities earmarked to host the 2024 Africa Games to appraise themselves with the progress of work done so far. The facilities comprise the multidisciplinary Borteman Sports Complex for indoor games and the University of Ghana Stadium for outdoor
The
games.
Legon Stadium is looking really good. And the Borteman project has brought life to that part of town, from School Junction all the way through to Zoom Lion to Borteman. I mean, the road they've done and the project, these projects, if properly done, they change local economies.
Yes.
And for that reason, I think it's a good idea.
Great. The games were supposed to have happened this year, but because we were not too ready, we've been given a year or so.
Speaking of new projects, there's an interesting one here which I want to highlight. John Mahama says he will not build any new project. He will complete abandoned ones. Now, I think we need to start tracking the promise of politicians and hopefully get more responsible politics from what has happened in the past few years. So this is a good one. Remember, we did a whole campaign about abandoned projects, which in our compilation were up to, I think for just the hospitals, was up to almost $1 billion. Now, the flag bearer aspirant for the NDC says that if he comes to office, he will not start any new project, but he will complete those that have been abandoned. So, according to him, the country's economic situation will not allow the government in waiting to start new projects. In fact, when you listen to him on the Citi Breakfast News this morning, he says that with the current economic crisis that we are currently facing, by the time the NDC comes to power in 2025, if they do come to power, we are going to have a restricted fiscal space because of the economic challenges. A new NDC will not be in a hurry to start new projects. What I'm saying is that I think that all aspirants should start managing expectations, because this is actually true. Because we even have money we have to pay to our creditors first quarter of 2025. So whoever wins that election, his first quarter, he has to look for money to pay a lot of debts. So we need to start tracking responsible promises. And I think this is a good one. There's so many. Sky, if you look at the number of projects at district level that have not been finished.
Abandoned.
Even, something I found? Even secondary school projects. So I have, 98-year groups are doing projects all over the country. You'll be shocked that in secondary schools, people have started projects that they've abandoned. So in reviewing to start a new project, you can be told that, Charlie, 1968 people did some project they've not finished, going to finish it.
Oh.
So it's not even just politics. Like in Ghana, look at the number of uncompleted houses we have.
Yeah, I was about
we
to
have a
make that
lot
point.
of uncompleted projects in the country.
Money's locked up.
Make sense.
In
GES, get fund, plenty. So I think it's a good one.
Yep, I agree with you, Bernard. Let me just plug into that. Given the fact that you reference or you touch on the restricted fiscal space.
Yeah.
There's a story in the publisher, page 7, that says IMF bailout, board approval likely to be in May, according to your friend, Dr. Theo Achampong.
Oh.
Now, the story says that Dr. Theo Achampong, an economist and a political risk analyst, has disclosed that the government's ambitious goal of securing an IMF bailout by the end of March may not be realized as projected. Now, due to negotiations with commercial creditors, the economist noted that the country is more likely to secure board approval for an IMF bailout by the end of April or May this year. So you should grab a copy of that.
The president has been pushing for end of March. I think they'll still push, but I think Theo Achampong has a very important point. So we'll see how it goes.
Let's deal with some constitutional matters. If you go to page 13 of the Daily Graphic, which is basically the biggest story on the front page, or no, actually,
The second story.
the second story on the front page, Emmanuel Ebo Hoxton has the story and says that an eminent constitutional expert, Professor Nana Susubribi Krobia Boateng Asante, has expressed his disagreement with the numerous calls for constitutional review, saying that mere amendment of the text of the Constitution will not necessarily improve the fortunes of the country. Now, in an exclusive interview with the Daily Graphic, Professor Nana Asante, who was the chairman of the committee of experts that drafted constitutional proposals leading to the promulgation of the 1992 Constitution, said the expectation of a constitutional review had been exaggerated. Now, there's a direct quote here that says, "In my humble view, we will not get development by just amending the Constitution. In fact, we will not get constitutionalism by just amending the text of the Constitution." If you look at the history of many countries, economic takeoff did not happen when there was a liberal constitutional order, he said. This is a very important.
The president has also said that he thinks the 92 Constitution is still in its early stages because 30 years for a constitution is still very young. The lawyers can argue over this, so it's a good discussion. I just wanted to take you to something still on the money side. Controller and Accountant General, according to my Joy Online story, the story said the staff are demanding Land Cruiser Prado instead of Toyota Camry.
Who are those?
So we are also going to demand certain things from our employer.
Yes.
Some staff at the Controller and Accountant General Department have described as pathetic and disheartening the allocation of Toyota Camry to management and senior staff. Staff of the entity which is responsible for keeping and disbursing public funds. Okay, they don't earn the funds, so they keep and disburse what we produce. They are unhappy that while deputy directors in other government agencies, including the Ministry of Finance, drive four-wheel drive vehicles, their bosses are being compelled to drive Toyota Camry. At their annual conference in Priso, a member of staff demanded Toyota Land Cruiser Prado from the management team. And there's actually a quote. I don't understand why a department like this, which is very powerful, when it comes to finances, all our deputy directors are using Camry. Meanwhile, you go to ministry, especially the Ministry of Finance, and you see that deputy directors are using V8. It is very pathetic. Hey, he continued. When you come to even regional level, you see some institutions, the directors are using V8, and others, are they better than us? He requested that the Controller and Accountant General intervenes on their behalf in order to make their lives more comfortable. Charlie Sky, with this mindset, we're in trouble. Oh.
Charlie, we are, seriously.
When we are thinking about how to pay our debts, and they are giving money that we have earned, the government has taken it and given it haircut.
They say they want,
and we are now
in a serious country. They should even create pool cars, scrap all V8s, and give them this thing ladder, the Russian ladder, to be driving. He's asking for V8. I am pleading that controller, you do your best for us so that our deputy controllers, if not even V8, they should be given Prado. Our regional directors and the various directors at the head office should also be given Fortuna or any better car than the Camry and the pickup. He appealed. But in response, the Controller and Accountant General, Kwesi Kwening Bosompim, rejected the request. The Lord bless him. According to him, the staff must make do with what they have. He noted that Toyota Camry supplied are new cars. If you listen to what the last budget was very well, the finance minister or the president indicated that going forward, even heads of department are going to use saloon cars for day-to-day work, and then four-wheel drive when you are going out of Accra. So we are trying our best, he explained. The controller recalled an experience with the car he was allocated when he assumed office as deputy controller and accountant general. I was given some old Honda, and on my way to my hometown, I got overheating on the way, and it took me another 3 hours to move. So they shouldn't bring themselves. Hey! I'm very happy he gave the guy the response.
Hey, Bernard, this town, he wants what?
You know, everybody wants to join the choppers.
Charlie.
So that the rest of us, we can go. Yeah. Well, it's at least Prado. If not in Grand Fortuna. But the worst of all is the Camry.
Can you imagine that?
Charlie? Nathan.
A country that is...
I'm happy the controller put him in his place.
A country that is at the IMF
begging for money. No, he said they are very powerful. And so you see his mindset. They are powerful. So
in your mind, what you need.
No, so Toyota Land Cruiser is a status symbol.
Meanwhile, if you are giving a Prado, you save on fuel.
If you are giving a Camry.
Sorry, Camry. You save on fuel. You can still move around.
But the fuel is not buying it. He's getting coupon. Things like you. You are the one buying fuel. You don't.
Bernard, let me just congratulate all the people who received awards yesterday. The National Rewards Excellence or Nation Rewards Excellence and Sacrifice, according to the graphic. And the story says it's actually by Donald Atodapate, my good friend. Some Ghanaians who have excelled in their various fields of national endeavor over the years yesterday received national honors and presented with awards for their meritorious services
during the COVID era.
Sacrifices.
Now, I just wanted to point out finally, though, that there's a cyclone called Freddy, which has killed 200 people in Malawi and Mozambique, and it's a problem. So the death toll from Cyclone Freddy in Malawi and Mozambique passed 200 on Tuesday after the record-breaking storm triggered floods and landslides in its second strike on Africa less than 3 weeks. This is the East African website. Rescue workers warned that more victims were likely as the scarred, destroyed neighborhoods for survivors, even as hopes dwindled. So let's keep an eye on the Malawi situation and pray for our siblings there.
But as for the US and the Russia people, we beg them, please. They should stop the madness. We beg them, please.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy.
have begun following a press release issued by the Ministry of Finance on February 27, 2023. The ministry further assured stakeholders that payment dates for subsequent maturities will be communicated as processing continues. The government also expressed gratitude to all stakeholders for their forbearance during the domestic debt exchange program and subsequent administrative processes. This announcement brings some relief to bondholders who have been eagerly waiting for the settlement of their outstanding bonds. The coalition of individual bondholders, for instance, have already given the Ministry of Finance a 48-hour ultimatum to pay all matured principal and outstanding bonds due on the existing bonds issued by government. The Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association has been mourning the challenges in accessing to finance from commercial banks and other financial institutions. Thus, the association has attributed to the stifling of the growth of the local poultry industry. But in an interview with Citi Business News, the vice president of the association, Kwame Ntimdodo, said the perception of the poultry industry is as a high-risk investment needs to be reconsidered by financial institutions.
We see the poultry industry as too risky, even though every aspect of life has some amount of risk involving, but they tend to present the poultry industry as a very high risk area. And so when you go there, the interest rate they want to give you, you better go out and struggle your own on your own. You don't give it the loan, and the risk, the interest attached, you can't even get it. The conditions and the interest rate per se is so high that it's so unattractive for you to go there for the loan. And that is why many poultry farmers are operating under their less than their capacities or abilities to expand. So most of the poultry farmers or people willing to enter the poultry farming business do small scale. Only few are able to do the medium scale, and just few are able to do the commercial large scale, 100,000 birds and above capacities. So it's so difficult, extremely difficult, getting funds from the banks and at reasonable interest rates.
Vice President of the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association, Kwame Ntimdodo. Consumers of petroleum products should expect a further decrease in prices at the pumps as the Institute for Energy Security, IES, is projecting fuel prices are to fall between 12.60 pesos for petrol and 13 cedis 40 pesos for diesel. The national average price for petrol and diesel currently stands at 13 cedis 53 pesos and 13 cedis 69 pesos respectively. According to the Institute, the forecast is based on a drop in the commodity price from $86 per barrel in the mid of the window as to a low of $79 per barrel at the start of Tuesday, 14th March 2023, and the relative stability of the local currency, which traded at about 12 cedis 66 pesos to a dollar from 12 cedis 88 pesos at the start of the window. Meanwhile, LPG, which sells at 15 cedis 44 pesos per kilogram, is also expected to drop to about 14 cedis per kilogram. As a strategic plan to move the sale and distribution of one of the luxurious automobiles in the world to a new level, CFAO has officially opened a new Mercedes-Benz showroom at the airport bypass road. This refurbished branch, according to the general manager in charge of sales and marketing at the company, Sebastian Duchato, will offer clients and potential patrons an outstanding customer service. In a media interaction on the sidelines of the official opening of the showroom, the general manager in charge of sales and marketing assured customers of quality after-sales service.
Wanted is to create a new experience for our Ghanaian customers, and this is why we decided to do a showroom that is really in line with all the standards that Mercedes-Benz has across the world. So we wanted people in Ghana, when they come here to buy a Mercedes, that they have a brand new experience. It's the same type of experience that they will have if they walked into a showroom in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi, to have the same level of service and the same level of comfort, let's say. So for us, it was key. It is definitely a milestone for CFAO Ghana to start distributing Mercedes-Benz. It is, of course, a world-renewed brand. And yeah, so it was key for us, for our customers to experience this top-level quality. So in terms of after-sales, of course, so with CFAO, I think after-sales our key battle. Definitely, this is where we put the most of the focus. For Mercedes-Benz, it will be the same. As we are now the sole official dealer, we'll be the only one to be able to repair the Mercedes here. We are the only ones with the diagnostic tool. And if people want to make sure that the Mercedes are maintained and repaired according to the manufacturer's guidelines, this is the place to come.
That was the general manager in charge of sales and marketing at CFAO, Sebastian Duchateau. Economist Professor John Gachi has reiterated calls for government to adhere strictly to fiscal discipline as part of efforts to restructure the economy. Statistics from the Bank of Ghana indicates that Ghana's total public debt shot up to 575.7 billion Ghana cedis at the end of November 2022. He notes that overborrowing by government has plunged the country into an economic crisis at which government is trying to tackle by acquiring a 3 billion bailout from the IMF. Speaking to Citi Business News on these issues, Professor John Gachi says government needs to be disciplined.
We should just do the right thing. We should respect the fiscal rules. We should respect proper debt management. When we procure debt, it must be used for the purpose of which it was procured. We shouldn't use natural or health problem or health epidemic as a means to procure debt unnecessary. And when much of that debt was not spent on the health epidemic but was spent on elections, we should learn lessons from that. We shouldn't do those things again. And we should also make sure that whatever we use our debt for, to have a reflection on our growth. Because if you borrow so much and your growth deep, payment becomes a problem. So that is what we should learn now going forward.
You heard economist Professor John Gachi speaking there. On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 11 cedis 2 pesos. The British pound also remained unchanged and is selling at 13 cedis 4 pesos. The euro recorded no change and is selling at 11 cedis 8 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus within the capital, the dollar is going for 12 cedis 50 pesos. The British pound is going for 14 cedis 80 pesos, and the euro is selling at 13 cedis. Let's now join Gillian Hammer of Data Bank for more on the topic, what is a treasury bill?
Treasury bills, otherwise known as T-bills, are among the most popular investments in Ghana. However, despite the high demand for them, many people don't understand how they work. Treasury bills are short-term loans the government takes from the investing public to finance various projects. You can choose to purchase it for 91 days, 182 days, or 364 days. Because T-bills are guaranteed by the government, it is generally considered safe and therefore usually used as a benchmark against which other investments are compared. The return on a treasury bill is annualized, meaning it is quoted to reflect a 12-month period. So if you purchase a 91-day T-bill and you are quoted a rate of 12% as an example, you should only expect to receive a quarter of the return, therefore 3%, because the T-bill will only run for 3 months. If the rate is 12% for a 182-day bill, then you should expect to receive 6% because the bill only runs for 6 months. To get the full return, you would need to purchase and hold a 364-day T-bill. Note that the interest being quoted varies according to the length of the treasury bill.
That was Gillian Hammer of Data Bank, and that does it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. My name is Nete Ajaho. Have a good business day.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song.
Dr. Osei Edichum insists investment in the TVET sector by government is geared towards making the area more responsive to the developmental needs of the country. He cited some TVET schools that are already making strides with regards to their mandates.
We want a TVET that will attract people from industry. They will come and say, can you train 50 electricians for us? Can you train 50 carpenters for us? That is when we will know that TVET is responding to the needs of our country. It's not a TVET that says, we'll train you and maybe you can create your own job. Yes, some people will create their own job. I want industry to begin to look at TVET as a solution provider, that you need workers and we'll train them with you and for you. Come, let's develop the curriculum together. So you tell us the kind of carpenter you want and we train that carpenter for you, with you. And then when we finish, you hire them. That's the kind of TVET that I want to be part of my legacy and the legacy of the President of the Republic, Bernard Avle.
The minister, during an interview after a meeting with principals of technical and vocational education and training institutions in Kumasi, urged the management of the institutions to partner with related industries.
So all that we are...
and then now bring in Martin Pebu, convener of the Individual Bondholders Association of Ghana. Good evening to you, Mr. Pebu, and thank you for joining us on Eyewitness News. Well, the government says that it will finally pay your matured investment come Thursday. How do you react to the statement that is just coming in from the Ministry of Finance?
Oh, wow, my brother. What's your name?
I'm Ni, Mr. Pebu. I'm Nilati.
Nilati. I can't make much of it. I can't trust until I see the payment. Because of the way Mr. Furiata has behaved in the past. You remember me? I think you were the one who interviewed me. The last time they promised 13th. I said, no, I don't believe government will pay on the 13th. And you see, it has come to pass. So we'll wait. If they pay on Thursday, then we'll believe. Yes, because this is the way Furiata and President Kufuor have sunk this country that low. Whilst we are suffering, we are gnashing our teeth. We can't pay our school fees. We can't buy food. We can't buy fuel. We can't do other things that we need to do. They have become very rich, very, very, very rich through data bank with this very bond, because data bank made money in fees and commissions. It's such a despicable conflict of interest. You hear what the 98 MP said, and the Apia Kubi, Buama, and the rest, when they did their press conference in Parliament. They said they are constrained to defend this despicable conflict of interest by Ofuriata and President Kufuor. Can you imagine? We are suffering, and they have become very rich. They say, we'll pay you today. Today can Lala, we are not ready. We'll pay tomorrow. Dilly-dally, dilly-dally. Oh, come on.
So are you also giving government a 48-hour ultimatum, or are you insisting that till the money hits your account, you are not going to take government's word for it?
Yes, we can't take government's word for it. So we stated, and it's also true, we stated in our press statement that we are giving government 48-hour ultimatum to pay. Otherwise, then we'll escalate it to the other forms, the picketing, demonstrations, asking Ghanaians to join, do a lot of noise, because if we don't, that's the only language President Kufuor understands. Because look, don't forget, when you are analyzing this problem, you don't analyze the way President Kufuor is not enjoying life. It's now enjoying life. It's now enjoying life through this Bonsi and Ofuriata. You will never understand it. Because, they say, the money sometimes makes people insensitive to the plight of others. And they've seen real money. They are chopping. So they don't really care much about that. So we have to make noise, shout to the highest heaven, shout to the rooftops, maybe, before we can get their attention.
But you met the finance minister in the past, and then he gave you all these assurances. Today, could it be that government is still struggling with its fiscals? That's why it's unable to pay you your matured investments?
No, I don't see the struggling. It's just deliberate refusal to pay. I don't think, because if it comes to fiscals, but the World Bank warned us at the end of the
wins for the Cavs, the Lakers, and the New York Knicks.
Let's
get into the details now. Former Black Stars midfielder Yao Achampong has warned Chris Hughton and his team not to underrate Angola ahead of Ghana's first leg encounter of the 2023 AFCON qualifier at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. The two sides heading to the first leg level on points in Group E of the qualifiers. Now speaking to City Sports ahead of the clash on March 23, the former Elmina Sharks head coach is wary of the threat the Angolans pose.
Now, football, every country is coming up, so we don't need to underrate every country. I think we have to go all out, not like our time when any team that we play, we know we are automatically going to win. Now we have to be very cautious, do our thing well, fight the boys well, give us what we all need.
Now, meanwhile, Angola head coach Pedro Goncalves also has named his 26-man squad for the qualifiers against Ghana's Black Stars. Let's get to more Black Stars related stuff. And assistant head coach Masoud Didi Dramani has expressed his confidence in their ability to cultivate a stable team environment for Ghana. The former Asante Kotoko coach and George Boateng have been charged to help coach Chris Hughton achieve the team's objectives. Now, praising Hughton, Didi Dramani expects to create consistency in team building at the Black Stars.
What I'll talk about Chris is that he's a unifier. He brings people together, and then his openness and of other people's views is huge. And this alone, it speaks volumes of the type of manager he is. And so it still brings about continuity and then advancement of the team. We expect to have a consistent team, and we want to have that consistency in team building. And once we have the consistency of team building, exactly so, then we know that the possibility of beginning to create success is just what we are expecting. So the consistency in terms of creating success with strong team building, and good effort, good energy, good performance, and then the others comes.
Now, Masoud Didi Dramani also shed light on the decision to exclude local players from the 25-man squad for the qualifiers.
I think that it goes with consistency and the closeness of games, and it's very important not to overstate that he releases his squad and then no local player in it. I think that when we start doing that, then we are preempting on the negativity, but I think that we are paying much attention to the local league. And you can see me coming out to watch a lot of the games. And then you look at the team. The team is made up of a consistent squad, if what you are saying is what it is. So we want to remain with a lot of consistency in what is happening.
So you heard Masoud Didi Dramani. He is assistant head coach of Ghana's Black Stars. Let's move on to some other stuff. And the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Ben Nunu Mensah, has urged corporate Ghana to support Team Ghana as they prepare for the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Now, speaking at an event in Accra to mark the 500-day countdown to the global sporting event, Mensah emphasized the importance of corporate partnerships in providing the necessary resources for Ghana's athletes to succeed on the international level.
We will need support from corporate Ghana. We will need your support so that we can send a sizable number of athletes to go and represent this country. Sometime very soon, I'll be sending letters to some of these companies, and I hope that you respond favorably to our request and support Team Ghana. Even before the games, we'll look at going to a city called Strasbourg to do our pre-games training. We need support. And very soon I'll be sending letters to the French companies in Ghana so they can give us support.
Now, the Deputy Sports Minister Evans Opoku-Bobier has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring a successful outing at the Olympic Games. Now, Bobier also called on corporate Ghana to lend their support to the country's athletes as they gear up for the international competition.
So I wish to assure the French embassy that government is going to partner you through the Ministry of Youth and Sports to ensure that next year Olympics game becomes one of the best. And Ghana is going to participate fully. So what we require is the support from the corporate Ghana so that together, the ministry, GOC, we can come together to develop the talent before we go to France so that we can win a lot of medals.
So you had Deputy Sports Minister Evans Opoku-Bobie speaking there. Let's move on to Europe, where the UEFA Champions League took center stage. Let's do a quick recap of the games that were played yesterday. FC Porto, they were at the Estadio de Dragao when they took on Inter Milan. That game ended goalless, and so Inter Milan progressed to the next round of the competition via their 1-0 advantage from the first leg. And then at the Etihad, it was Manchester City in ruthless form against RB Leipzig. That game ended 7-0 in favor of the English side. So 8-1 on aggregate when it all was said and done. Now today, big games coming up. Napoli are up against Eintracht Frankfurt. Napoli lead by 2-0 from the first leg. They will be hoping to make it to the next round. And then there's also Real Madrid versus Liverpool. That game is 5-2 advantage Real Madrid. Liverpool head coach Jurgen Klopp has said that this tie is over, or that they have a 1% chance of making it to the next round. We'll see if that's how it plays out. There's some Premier League action later tonight. There's Brighton and Hove Albion versus Crystal Palace. There's also Southampton Football Club taking on Brentford. So that's what's going on with the Premier League. And still on Premier League related matters, Manchester United winger Alejandro Garnacho will be sidelined for several weeks after suffering an injury in the goalless draw with Southampton over the weekend. Now, the 18-year-old came on after 73 minutes of the game and appeared to be in pain after a challenge by Kyle Walker-Peters. Garnacho then went off and was replaced by Fred in the closing stages before leaving Old Trafford on crutches. So Garnacho, big blow for Man United. Let's do some NBA before we go. The Knicks were victorious when they took on the Portland Trail Blazers. There was also a game between the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Phoenix Suns losing that particular game, and then the San Antonio Spurs were also up against the Orlando Magic. The Spurs winning that game. The Lakers were up against the Pelicans. They had too much for the Pelicans, running away with victory in that particular one. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Nketia. There's more sports at citysportsonline.com.
Let's go, let's go, let's go,
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, improve your life.
Nam are proud to call her daddy. We love him so much. From Mrs. Kafui Agropa. To Ellen Koko Asiba, may the joy that you've spread in the past come back to you on this day. Wishing you a very happy birthday from Jim Mosa 2001 group. Wishing Emmanuel Akonai of Snit Agona Suedo branch a happy birthday. We're grateful for his kind heart and his spirit that never falls short. From Kelvin Lochu, Sugarcane Republic. Wishing Kuma Adusa Amankwa and Mr. Penny Adusa Amankwa a happy 50th from the BCF family. And to our son Kingsley Dakum Mante Jr. Happy birthday, he's 1 year today. We thank God for the miracle and the protection over the last 21 months. Indeed, we worship a miracle God for Mr. and Mrs. Mante and the whole family. Happy birthday to Madam Ifia Ejewa of ICGC Christ Temple. May the good Lord continue to protect and favor you in Jesus' name. From Auntie Samachuku of Sub School Teshin. Also wishing Fatima Kamal Madi of Kanshi, formerly of Access Bank, a happy birthday. Today is your day. Enjoy the very best of today.
A few more. This one says, happy birthday to my world, Kweku Enim Bwedu. On a beautiful day like this, I pray for blessings from the Most High for you. That's from Enim Kweku Bwedu's wife, Sue.
Kweku Enim Bwedu.
Yeah. He's a big man.
Business desk of Citi.
Yeah.
FM.
Okay, and this one says, happy birthday to Charles Jojo Efson, Communications Officer of the Ghana Boxing Federation. Jojo, happy birthday to you. That's coming from Pichichi.
Charlie, let me do this one for a brother. Chief Bedema of the Ghana Police Service.
Right.
Is a big man. Is the personal, should I say, he's an official bodyguard. The protector of the speaker of
why are you blowing his cover?
No, I'm not blowing. He's a publicly known fact.
Okay.
He's been with the Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin for all these years.
You're not blowing his cover?
God, I'm not blowing his cover.
Okay.
And he's done a fine job at it. Okay. Ghana recognizes all that you have done. Those we can say on air, those we cannot say on air. You are a fine police officer, and I respect what you do. For the old man, and then also for the Republic. May God continue to bless you. May God continue to watch your family. May God continue to reward you in so many ways, so that ultimately, when the history of the Fourth Republic is written, somewhere in there, you will not be a footnote, but somewhere small history will be written about that which you have done. Bless you, my brother.
Beautiful. Also to Frankenin Bunsu of Josh Travels, a happy birthday. May God connect him to mercies and favor as you connect others to the world. Coming from Kofi Ayisi to Frank Enin Bonsu. This morning we're talking about road tolls. Do you want road tolls to come back?
I'm in full support of the idea of road tolls coming back. Not in the old fashion. I said that yesterday, that we have to be smart about it.
Why should road tolls even come back?
Because we need money, Bernard. We need money. I mean, we need money, and the money we are the people who raise it. IMF will give you what, or World Bank people? How much are they giving us? 3 billion.
But how much were we even getting from the road?
We're getting, was it 200 million or one, little around?
What were they using it for?
Okay, so we were using it to help fix the roads. So, it goes into the road fund, which is run by...
But the road fund and some other funds, their usage has changed, Sky.
So
Because a lot of people ask, if you put money in the road fund, how come even the very road that you are paying the toll on, the road is bad?
You see, so that is they claim inadequacy of funds, and then also we have not properly streamlined how to award road contracts. The president goes to a particular community, the people shout roads. Okay, hey, come and do the roads. He goes to this constituency, the chiefs are shouting, oh yes, we have awarded a road contract. And majority of the time, some of these people are not even contractors.
Do road contracts have to go through parliament?
Not the ones that are locally awarded.
Unless they are loans.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure we need road tobacco.
I think we need it.
I'm not saying we don't need it. I'm saying I'm not sure.
Okay.
So it's different from I reject. I believe we need money, but I'm not sure if they've thought through this thing carefully. I mean, look, you've had a whole year of no road tolls. Where was the engagement? Where is the new ideas? Like, we shouldn't be on air telling people that they should not use the same system. They should rather have worked in that 1 year to say, look, ladies and gentlemen of Ghana, following the suspension of road tolls, this is what we are going to do. They've gone back a whole year and just come back to say we've increased by 50 pesos. Like, seriously, where's the technology? Do you get me? How are you going to manage it? I was thinking that in that 1 year, there will be some engagement, some ideation, some policy reform. Do you hear me? Invite different stakeholders come and talk, and then when they announce, so by the time the finance start announcing that we are coming back to the road toll, we are all ready. We know the way it's going to work. I mean, you come back a whole year, and I have to go on there and tell you that don't let me go and queue again. I mean, ideas about mixing the road toll with our registering DVLA, nothing. So what were they doing that whole 1 year? Just to come back and say it's now 1.5 instead of 1 CD?
Okay.
Come on,
Bernard.
Come on.
Let me put it this way. I think we can agree that we need money, and then say that how do we raise the money? The same way we can agree that we need road tolls. How do we collect the road tolls? We can agree that okay, yes, these guys went and slept for over 16 months, and all of a sudden they are coming back to tell us that we want to bring road tolls back. Within the period, what were they doing? So it is a question of how they are bringing the whole thing back. Because mind you, someone slept on the wrong side of the bed, woke up one morning and said that, okay, this thing, we are not going to collect it again. It was tied to the whole idea of the, the e-levy collection. A number of things were done so recklessly, many illegal and unconstitutional.
They were actually hoping that they will use the nuisance value of the road toll to convince us to accept the e-levy.
Exactly.
At the time, they were saying, we have collected taxes which are annoying people, like the road toll, causes traffic. If we can get people to agree to the e-levy, then we can remove the road toll and they will still pay the e-levy. It was such a bad miscalculation because it was different. You are solving two different problems. So I'm just saying, okay, is there a way in which they can even prove how they've used the road tolls in the past 6 years or whatever, so that they can say, okay, let's give me 10 years, 2021. When did they cancel the road toll? 2022, 2021.
Yeah, it must be 2021.
Good. So 2011 to 2021, how much did they raise in the road toll? What did they use it for? What are the projects they use the road toll for? You get me? Then we can have a conversation. But to go away 1 year and just come back, we are going to raise. Oh, Charlie. Sorry. It's sorry. Anyway, I'll come back to this. I want to deal with a few issues. I'll come back to this. Now, let's talk about the British Council and the IELTS. Take the next step to own your future by taking the IELTS with the British Council. The International English Language Testing System is an English proficiency test used to measure if someone can speak, read, or write English well enough to study or work abroad in an English-speaking country. Now, we are accepted by immigration authorities in the US, UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. People looking to immigrate to these countries for studies, work, or to live need to take the IELTS. Register with the British Council for that. Now, the Cybersecurity Authority is exercising its mandate and has started licensing the CSPs, who are cybersecurity service providers, and also CEs, cyber security establishments, and CPs, cybersecurity professionals. Now, between now and September this year, you need to regularize or get a license to be able to do either service provision or to be a professional in the country to provide the kind of service required. Go to csa.gov.gh for more information. La Bianca is introducing Akuko Tasty, a local poultry version, locally produced, locally bred and slaughtered in different parts: thigh, wing, back, gizzard, breast. Available at La Bianca as the sole distributor. We are Tema at the Fishing Harbour, Tema Newtown Road, opposite NIB Bank. Call 0505 431 111. La Bianca is your number one frozen foods company. In the beginning, children in her community used to walk to school. Today, not only are her bamboo bicycles making it easier for these children to get to school, Bernice Dapa also employs many women as well. At ABSA, this is what we call Africanacity, the distinct ability of the Ghanaian to always get things done. Africanacity is our inspiration. It defines who we are and what we do. To find out more, visit absa.com.
Now, it's the Imperial Insure and Win promo from now to the end of the month. Insure your vehicle with Imperial General Assurance and win handsome rewards. And yes, it is instant. Just insure and pick your reward. Fuel coupons, gift vouchers, special souvenirs, and many, many more. Call Imperial General Assurance on 0302 788 955 or 0577 667 436 or talk to any of their agents nationwide. Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. Now, study in our BSc Nursing or study for our BSc Nursing degree today, and it's accredited by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and the Nursing Amity Council. With our ultra-modern and well-equipped skills lab for practicals, we give you hands-on training for the job market through technology-driven teaching and learning. You can get in touch with Heritage Christian College. They are offering that course and is one of the many they offer. Call them on 0547 777 or 0202 298 399 or dial star 789 star 300 hash to purchase an online serial number and apply at hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian College, university training compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. Now, grabbing your favorite drink for all your different occasions can be tricky sometimes, but not when it's Coca-Cola in the mix. Are you looking for real ice-cold refreshment to quench your thirst and complement your meals? Then grab your favorite 300 ml Coke plastic bottle, now selling at 5 cedis, or the same size 300 ml Coke Zero, Fanta, and Sprite selling at 4 cedis. You can also grab your 1.5 liter Coke Classic plastic bottle, which sells at 20 cedis, and you can also get the Coke Zero, Fanta, and Sprite plastic bottle. And they sell at 18 cedis to share with friends and family. Bring the excitement and fun to all your occasions and enjoy real ice-cold refreshment with your friends and family.
All right, let's hear from the chairman of the Roads and Highways Committee. So yesterday, we saw the memorandum from the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Roads, announcing the introduction of road tolls and the proposed new rate. Now, a couple of problems I have. The fact that the road toll was removed because we were told that e-levy was going to replace that. All right, in the same budget that removed the e-levy, that removed the road toll, they brought the e-levy. Now, e-levy is still here, and they are bringing back road toll. Number two, they want to increase the road toll level, and they haven't told us about how they're even going to collect it. All right, now, to make matters worse, Kennedy Osenyaku, who's the chairman of the Roads Committee in Parliament, says he only supports the road toll return if it's pegged at 5 cedis. Now,
So is that 5 cedis like a flat rate?
Sure. Per usage. Because the thing, for example, the normal vehicle is 1 cedi.
I'm saying that, so will all vehicles pay 5 cedis every time?
He has to explain. Maybe they have to call him for him to explain. I know that the vehicle I was driving, I think it was 50 pesos that they increased into 1 cedi. Yeah. And then some vehicles was 1 cedi increased into 1.5, and then some 1.5 to 2. So basically, it's 50 pesos
50
increase
peso increment.
from 1 CD to 1.5. Now, listen to the ranking, the chairman of the committee now asking that the thing be pegged at 5 CDs.
After suspending the road toll for more than a year, and you are adding just 50 pesos to it, then why did we could have as well go ahead, maintain the 1 CD and add, whilst we are collecting the 1 CD, we could have made a proposal and add 50 pesos to it. But if you come and you said you have suspended it and you want to add, for me, as a road chair, I will not support anything less than 5 cities. And I'm saying it based on the fact that the average road toll in the sub-region, even globally, is $1.
So that is the Honorable Kennedy Osenyako. He says the average road toll in the sub-region is much higher than what we are collecting. So he doesn't see what we are doing with the 50 peso thing. Let's listen to the Minority Chief Whip and Ranking Member on the Road and Transport Committee, Governance Kwame Agboja. Now, the background to Governance was one of the guys who said that the Minister of Roads unilaterally removed the road toll and that even the scrapping was wrong, all right? So I'm a bit confused now that he's saying that they only support the return of the road toll if there's a decapping of the road fund. Because, look, he was basically saying that the road toll shouldn't have been removed. So I don't know why he's now saying that the road toll should only come back after some other condition. Because I thought he was like, look, the road toll should be there because there's not enough money in the road fund. Well, this is what he's saying now. I think he was speaking to some media people.
First of all, as a country, we all need to be asking ourselves whether when we elect people, whether members of parliament or the executive into office, is it the case that they can do or take any decision irrespective of if it's obviously reckless. When the proposal came for the road tolls to be abolished, we obviously spoke against it, clearly saying that there's no justification. The Minister of Finance and the Road Ministry were of the view that in their words, we only get a paltry 72 million Ghana cedi annually out of that. And then the Finance Minister also said clearly that one of the reasons he's abolishing it is because he wanted to control pollution, because vehicles cause pollution. He also said that the only way he would bring the toll back is if we are able to build a new PPP road project, new project. None of the things are applied currently. As we speak, there is no PPP project that is currently ongoing, nearing completion. In fact, there's none going on, which we are going to toll. So I believe what he's proposing is to toll the existing roads as we find them. But the most important thing is this. That letter you're referring to is to the Road Ministry. I'm not even sure why the Finance Minister is even hazarding the mentioning of figures here. It is upon the Road Ministry to look at the situation and even advise on which roads we can toll and what the classification of the vehicles, which vehicles ought to be put in the particular category to attract a certain toll, as we call it. We haven't even gotten there, so I'm not sure why the Finance Ministry is pretending to have the mandate to determine what we charge. But for us in the minority, the critical thing is this. We know the Finance Minister consistently, under the Capping and Realignment Act, take money from Ghanaians, for instance, for roadworks, and give only a fraction of that money to the Road Ministry for roadworks. If you read Appendix, I think, B and C of the 2023 budget, you will notice that the Finance Minister is projecting that the Ghanaians will pay about 2.4 billion Ghana cedi into the road fund in 2023. If you go to Appendix C, 3C, you will see that he is only going to spend 1 billion out of the 1.4 billion on road-related work. So you take money, 2.4 billion from Ghanaians to do road work, but you actually will give them only 1 billion. The only way the minority side would be interested in this discussion at all is to get an assurance that the road fund will be totally decapped so that the numerous contractors who have worked and whose certificates are lying in the ministry and other agencies would have the ability to get their money paid to them so that they can go back to site and fix you a nice road and employ people. We are not going to be able to support government to bring their toll back if it is only going to give you 2.4 billion, and then you pay 1 billion to for roadwork and use another 1 billion to the roadwork, and then 1.4 billion maybe to pay for cathedral and other things. We shall not be part of this. So we make that one clear. So there's no blanket check for the finance minister to reintroduce road tolls. He would need to walk a very tight rope in parliament to get the support of the minority to reintroduce
it's your
the road
point to suggest that until the road fund is capped, this particular reintroduction of the road tolls and its corresponding increments will mean nothing. Is that the point?
No, we can't because we have constantly getting contractors. In fact, let me give you a sad story. I'm in touch with a 77-year-old woman who is part of SMC, small medium contractors, whose job it is to just weed the side of roads in communities. She's owed just about 25,000 cedis or something like that. And guess what? She's got a kidney problem. She even needs this money to go to hospital. Just 25,000 cedis. Somebody says 72 million is a paltry money. So let's cancel it. And I'm saying that if we bring the toll back, the act ought to be changed. That money is protected for use on only road-related expenditure, not on a government-wide expenditure where we'll find monies from road funding like cathedral, funding like other government expenditure. We can't be a responsible opposition if that is what we are supporting. We can't be part of it.
But Honorable, have you seen the proposed rate? If you have, do you really think that they are justified, given the reasons for the reintroduction of the tools?
That is what I'm saying, that I'm not even sure why the finance minister is hazarding proposal of any fees at all. I believe the road ministry, after consultation, it might end up that some of the charges might even be higher than what he's proposing. Some might have to be lowered. But bottom line, there will have to be fairness and assurance to the public that whatever they pay will be used to do the things that matter to the people of this country. So, for instance, I've seen 4x4 vehicles, 1 cedi 50 pesos. The question you ask is, if that same vehicle was paying 1 cedi in the past, is it the case that you suspended the toll because you wanted to charge 50 pesos? That would have been quite a reckless decision. So let the finance ministry just make the decision that you want to reintroduce the road toll. Stay back, ask those who matter, the road ministry, to do everything. Let's do the reclassification of vehicles into the various categories, and with the consultation with the public and other stakeholders, come up with rates that are fair, that can be collected, and that when the money is collected can be applied to activities on road to make our roads safer and better in communities around you and I.
Well, maybe educate us at this point. If the government says that the collection of road tolls is going to happen on selected roads, what really does it mean, if you're able to educate us on this?
Well, initially, they said on PPP roads. As you and I know, and Richard knows, there are no PPP roads project going on now. In fact, the PPP roads they've always mentioned in their budget are Accra Kumasi. Have you seen any contractor working on Accra Kumasi Road? Accra Cape Coast. Have you seen any contractor working on Accra Cape Coast Road? So it is just phantom. It doesn't exist. Temamoto Way project. As you know, I've been having a running battle with the ministry saying that so-called contract with Motor Angel is not fit for purpose. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, that contract is dead more than 2 years ago. So the Accra Temamoto Way also doesn't have any valid contract on that project. So we do not have any PPP project. So they will have to reclassify existing roads as we have it to charge tolls on. So whenever they bring the list of those roads, you and I will have that discussion, and then we take it from there. I sincerely believe Ghanaian motorists are not fundamentally against payment of road tolls. Their concern has always been that they are paying road tolls, and the roads on which they drive are in deplorable state. They want accountability of what they pay. Once we can prove to them that we collected your 2.4 billion Ghana cedi, and we applied 2.4 billion Ghana cedi So this number of roads of which you can clearly see improvement, Ghanaians will be satisfied with that. That is what has always been their concern. No one said cease the collection of road tolls. So we are waiting for government to identify those roads, and then we'll have the discussion.
So this is the view of Governor Kwame Agboja, who was speaking on Eyewitness News yesterday. We'll bring you tech and social media trends and continue with this discussion. So I think there's still three key issues here. Why the toll was removed and whether the reasons for removal are still not valid, for which reason they are bringing the toll back, what they promised to do if they were going to bring it back, whether they've done it, and then whether just bringing it back the way they used to take it is the sensible thing to do or not. All right, so we'll deal with all of that. I just wanted Nathan to bring us the tech and social media trend segment first.
Yes, just to mention though that the official figure is actually around 78 million, close to 80 million Ghana cedis per year. Although some projections
70 to 80 million cedis a year.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how much
All
we're
right.
collecting.
So tech and social media trends is next. It's brought to us by Vodafone. The One Ghana promos here with just one CD. You can have 20 minutes talk time to all other networks and 1 gig data every day between 5 a.m. and 11:59 a.m. Simply dial *530# to subscribe and enjoy longer conversations and browsing. The Vodafone One Ghana promo is the best value offer in town. Easy on your pocket. Save big when you subscribe to the One Ghana promo daily. Vodafone, further together. All right, Nathan. So what's the story?
Well, so many things trending. On the sporting side, you have Manchester City trending, Pep Guardiola trending as well. Of course, last night.
Haaland.
Well, strangely, Haaland is not in the trends. I don't know why. Maybe I'll have to have a deeper look. But yes, Man City beat RB Leipzig 7-0 last night to qualify. To qualify 8-1 on aggregate. Erling Haaland scored 5, the youngest player to reach 30 Champions League goals.
Were they doing it on behalf of Liverpool?
I don't even know what it is.
Manchester, let me put it on behalf of Manchester United.
I don't
so that they will share in the glory of the shame.
So yeah, Manchester City and co are trending. On the entertainment side, Onya FM is trending. Nanama McBrown is trending. United Showbiz trending. All related trends. Why? Earlier this week, Nanama McBrown was unveiled as the new or the host of Onya FM's Marching Morning Show, and it's generated all kinds of conversations on the sides and all of that. On the tech side of things, Bernard, this will interest you. OpenAI has released GPT-4, the latest version of the chatbot ChatGPT.
Wow.
Now, the new model can respond to images, providing recipe suggestions from photos of ingredients, for example, as well as writing captions and descriptions. It can also process up to 25,000 words, about 8 times as many as ChatGPT. Millions of people have used ChatGPT.
So it's a competitor to ChatGPT?
No, it's the latest version.
The latest version.
Yes, GPT-4. Okay, now ChatGPT was launched in November 2022.
GPT of Tuk.
Getting closer to singularity.
Yeah, and it's become quite popular. Several people use it, and it's part of the conversations these days in that space. So
What it also means is that, I mean, academic institutions and people interested in how students are assessed will also have to keep their eyes on situations like this. Because, trust me, the age where AI is now, you can ask it to write a paper on a particular thing and it will do it. The question is whether the facts are, questionable or not, can only be answered if you actually look at it properly. And then also issues of referencing and all of that.
Yeah.
Whether the originality of thought, is the student doing that himself or somebody else, or the AI is doing it for him. These are issues that those of us in this part of the world would have to closely look at. Because, Charlie, where the thing is reaching.
From Nora, I beg, make you give me correct shock absorber. Or make I do video concept, then take the Gaussian P for the engine show you.
Hey, yawa humache. Every morning you the tear calls, they browse. Actually, something they.
Hey, Tago, the way Tom make hot, I grow best one if you no po. If it be you where you get put up from one Ghana promo.
this. Good morning, Honorable. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for talking to us. So, what is your understanding of the intention of the Ministry of Finance that they want to bring back the road toll? Is it with immediate effect?
Bernard, let me say a very good morning to your cherished listeners, and thanks for the opportunity to also share my views on the the letter or whatever it is going around from the Ministry of Finance. Yes, I've also cited it. I cited it yesterday. We on the Committee on Roads and Transport, we have not had any engagement with the Ministry of Roads and Highways on this matter. When I saw the letter, I immediately contacted the Chief Director, who confirmed that they just received the letter, and the Minister is even yet to look at the letter. So they will convene a meeting and discuss it at the technical level at their ministry, and after which they will also consult the committee for our input. So for us, we are waiting to get to hear from the minister, or to engage the ministry to also bring our input. But what I have to say about the proposal from the ministry, we on the committee have always maintained one position, that if the government want to reintroduce the toll, which was stated in the 2023 budget on paragraph 462, if the government want to, as part of its revenue measures, want to reintroduce it, we have no problem about it. But you should make sure that it shouldn't be in the old form that was there that we suspended it. We should rather look at how we can automate all the tolls that we want to collect the fees from. That is one. Two, we should look at the realistic charge, reasonable one that we can charge. Because if we look at the entire sub-region, let's say not even the sub-region alone, entire Africa, Ghana has the lowest toll fee. We charge the lowest toll fee. And if you look at, if you want to juxtapose the fee that we charge to the cost of kilometers of road now, about a year ago, a cost of a bitumen surfacing road, a kilometer of a bitumen surfacing road, a year ago, which equivalent to Ghana city, was around 1.8 to 2 million. As we speak, because of the dollar and the cedi depreciation or differences, today, the same kilometer will cost you about 4.8 million Ghana city. More than 100% of, close to about 200% of the old cost. So if after a year, suspension of the tolls for more than a year, we want to reintroduce it, and we are just only going to add 50 pesos to the old one, then the problem that we intend to solve, we will not solve it. Because if you read the reason the Ministry of Finance or government gave in suspending it, that because some of these toll collection points have become a traffic zone, and it delays people, vehicular movement and all those things, and that we want to resolve that matter. It means we need a heavy investment to solve this matter. That is expanding the extension of the road at this collection point, making sure fixing the bad section of the road at this collection point, so that it will be smooth for people who are passing that road. And if they're able to do it, and we are charging them between 3 to 5 cities, it should be reasonable for us to do. And that is what we have been telling the ministry. For now, we don't want to rush in making any comment until we listen to the position of, or we listen to the ministry, what will be their position, what they intend to do. After which, if we have anything, we will tell.
So you're giving us 2 points. Point 1 is that they must automate it, and point 2 is that the fee must be realistic. What about the minority's view that there must be a decapping of the road fund to make it solely finance road projects and for contractor payments? For your colleague on the other side, Govins, has said this to us. He said this yesterday, that for them, the condition they will put is the fact that they want a decapping of the road fund, because as of now, that capping allows monies in the road fund to be used for other things. Is this something that, as chairman of the committee, you associate with?
Well, I've always maintained same position. I've told that, it's a law that they brought it to Parliament. So I've always made the argument that, government need money to also support other, let's say, sectors or other programs, and therefore has brought this law, the decapping, to be able to keep some of the money to also send it to other sectors. I have no problem. But if we want to decap it, it shouldn't be more than, if we are decapping it, then give almost about 80 or 70, let's say 70% of the money to the ministry and government can keep 30%. It shouldn't be that you give, let's say 50% to the ministry and government keep 50%. I know that in the road sector, all projects are not paid at the road fund. Some are paid at the Ministry of Finance. So government always, or the Ministry of Finance always want to keep part of the money at the Ministry of Finance so that those people who send their IPCs to Ministry of Finance, they can use that same money to pay them. I have no problem. But
okay.
At least 70% should be given to the road fund so that road fund can have enough to use it. And that is what we are. We are not calling for zero decapping because government also pays some of the road contractors at Central. And therefore, it is the same money that they use it. So if they want to decap and keep some of the money and pay the same contractors that have constructed road that will be paid at the Ministry of Finance, I have no problem. At least my
but Honorable, if you look at the way the road toll has become controversial and the fact that people were unhappy with the way it was causing traffic and all of the problems that have been associated, this, your earmarked funds capping and realignment act in 2017, which gives the finance minister the authority to commit a portion of the road tolls to the road fund and then use the remainder for other purposes as he may deem fit. I mean, if you are telling me to pay 3 cedis to 5 cedis for roads that I know I'm going to use, you need to assure me that that money is going to do roads. But if the minister can give me, can give roads fund 70% and use 30% to do anything he wants, including things that may not necessarily be related to roads, how do you expect me to agree to that? Don't you think that we need to amend that act insofar as it relates to the roads specifically? Yes, you can cap other funds for other purposes, but you have already told us that the road sector requires so much resource. And if you are going to pay 3 or 4 cedis, why should we give that discretion to the Minister of Finance? He can decide to use the rest of the money to do anything which may not be related at all to what we are paying for.
So, Bernard, 2 things. Last year alone, if you look at the payment, I have all the payment that Finance Ministry did on behalf of the Road Ministry. They paid contractors that had their certificate to the Ministry of Finance to be paid. It was about close to about 2 billion. Okay? The money that they took from the road fund or through the decapping, if we want to argue that yes, we want the road fund to be separated, all monies to the road fund should go directly, should be credited directly, automatically to the road fund. That one, I agree with you. And I support the position that it shouldn't go to, I am not a fan of the money going to the consolidated fund. Then after we go and sit down and do a reconciliation and say that, oh, this is the amount that came into the consolidated fund on behalf of road fund. So let's do the transfer. What kind of cumbersome listen is that? So yes, I support the argument. And I've made that kind of point. But yes, if we want to know, because it's Ghanaians that are paying. So if we want Ghanaians to know that this is the amount we got from the road fund, let the account be independent. Let the fund have all the money in the account so that the minister sitting at his office, at every point you know that, okay, they are going to get X amount from the road fund. They can plan their activities and programs. Even if they want to award contract, they will be able to know that, okay, we can give contract up to this amount because we know we have this X amount in our account. But not a situation where the money goes to the consolidated. But this situation has been there. When we did the Road Fund Act, money, it goes to the consolidated fund. So if now, from President Mahama's side, if now we have realized that that situation is not helpful, why not? We did the law. Okay. We in the House can make that kind of proposition and make sure that we get the government, whether the Ministry of Roads and Highways or Ministry of Finance, to come for us to amend the act.
Finally,
make sure that we have a separate account for the road fund and every money goes so that we know at any point in time what we are getting, how much we are getting.
So
and how much
finally, the final question, sir. So you've made 3 points. Point 1, we agree with you. It must be automated. Point 2, you say it must increase. I don't necessarily agree, but we can debate that later. Point 3 on the capping, you've made your point. The final point for me is that even though it wasn't explicitly stated in the announcement of cancellation of the road toll, the discussion around removing the road toll was during the introduction of the e-levy.
Yes.
And some of us were made to believe that removing a nuisance like a road toll and replacing it with a technology-based tax like the e-levy was better for Ghanaians, right? So do you not think it's fair, as part of the preconditions for bringing back the road toll, if not to even scrap the e-levy, to further reduce the e-levy? Because it was presented, I recall Gabi, for example, posted on his Facebook page at the time that removing the road toll was such a nuisance tax, and that basically it was pitching the road toll against the e-levy, right? So a lot of people, if I even had a show here, we discussed and said, look, if you take away the road toll and bring e-levy, it makes more sense because e-levy is not a nuisance tax. Should the government not give the people of Ghana a further reduction in the e-levy if they are bringing the road toll back?
Bernard, in 2021, when we're about to pass the 2022 budget, the condition was that when we collect the e-levy, 30% of the amount will be put into the road sector. At the time, the government was anticipating to raise almost 7 billion in the form of the e-levy that we wanted to introduce. And looking at the buha that surrounded the e-levy, government has to go back to even reduce the whole thing, to even exempt a lot of people that were in the original proposal. They were to pay part, they were part of those people who will be charged the e-levy. That is why government projected its e-levy to 7 billion or 6.9 plus billion in 2022. At the point in time when there was this kind of disagreement in Parliament, and Ghanaians rose and we spoke about it at length, and people were against it, government has to go back and exempt more than 60% of the people who could have been paid, would have been roped in to pay the e-levy, exempt them. So the effect was not the same. Last year, when they were presenting the budget, what they got from the e-levy is a little over 300 million. You were expecting to raise 7 billion. We got only a little over 300 million. Meaning, in the original form that was presented, that was rejected by the minority, that government has to go and review. After the review, we couldn't stand, we couldn't get it. And therefore, that arrangement that 30% of that money was going to the road sector, which when I did the calculation, if I did the calculation, 7 billion, if you calculate 30%, we know how much we were going to get. Based on that, we even made an arrangement, a proposal to the ministry that when you get that 30%, what we have to do is that at least take 1 billion out and securitize it and raise maybe 3 billion or 4 billion and go and clear your debt. At that time, the total debt that we had at the road fund was around 4 to 5 billion. So we could have solved much of our problem. But what happened? We all know what happened. The story surrounding the e-levy. We kicked against it. Now government came 2023 budget and said that I have reviewed even the 1.5 after I have exempted a lot of people to 1%. And now they are even doing a projection of 2.2 from 7 billion this year alone. If the e-levy in the old form had been accepted by Ghanaians and our brothers on the minority side this year, government will be raising almost about 9 billion.
I just wanted to point out that the 7 billion calculation, I recall distinctly civil society and many people saying that calculation was misplaced. So I'm not sure it was just the fact that the minority did not agree. Many people wrote and said that the 7 billion was overambitious and unrealistic. So I believe that if we proceed on the basis that because the government could not raise the 7 billion, therefore the percentage that the road fund should get should be lower, I don't think it's entirely accurate because I didn't see how on earth you could get 7 billion from I mean, what's the size of the overall telco sector that you were hoping to get 7 billion in that e-levy calculation? So maybe that's a different discussion for today. But at least you've made some very clear points today. It must be automated. The fee must be more realistic. You are open to the discussion around the capping, but you disagree with me on the e-levy point. I'll let you go and hopefully talk again to you later. Thank you, Honorable Kennedy Osenyaku, MP for Akim Swedru, and also the chairman of the road committee. He's given us some useful information as well that we will use in the conversation. It's 8:24, a couple of quick announcements. So much to talk about, the links between the road toll, productivity, e-levy. I just want to read something to you before you come in, Nathan. Again, good memory. I remember that during the discussion about the road toll, the issue of productivity was very strong. They said that the road toll was the collection process was a nuisance, and that in fact they gave about 3 reasons. If you remember the 3 reasons they gave for that, for which reason I'm surprised that he's saying that even as a committee, they just saw the financial memorandum.
So first of all, let me deal with the first.
No, just read
the first one was to help reduce congestion on the tolled roads. So congestion, cars parking and hoping to get through. The second one, to allow free flow of vehicles. The third one was to reduce travel time and the pollution caused by emissions from vehicles in and around.
So the point is that if those were the reasons why you are removing the road toll, and then you have had a year and a few months, the chairman of the committee on roads, which is a very critical stakeholder in this, is not aware of any automation plans. I don't think Governor Zaboja is aware either. You get me? So the finance ministry and the roads ministry, within that 1 year, what have they been up to? Now, if they're even planning to automate it, do they not think that a parliament is such a key stakeholder in this that they ought to even have briefed them? So for Kennedy to now say, he even just heard it yesterday, I heard it yesterday, and he also is here yesterday, I think that leaves a lot to be desired. So the policy formulation process doesn't seem inclusive. I don't think they've even discussed. I'm not sure if there's a plan to automate. Hopefully there is. But even if there is, how come he doesn't know? I mean, he should know.
You see, and it is characteristic of how government has run major policy decisions and implementing the same has also seen this kind of thing. Because what have we done with e-levy itself? People had to be forced to go and do town hall meetings with the people to explain why e-levy was going to be introduced. Even the IMF deal, what level of engagement took place? So it is not surprising that we are back to the same area where there is a lack or there seems to be a lack of engagement with even the key stakeholders. In fact, even explaining to the people of Ghana what exactly has happened over the past 1 year or so. What have you done? What research have you done as to say that, okay, if we do it this way, it will impact us more positively? We have not seen
that.
And
the other point is that one of the reasons, again, I recall, was the fact that they felt that the 78 million was way lower than we're getting because they felt that there were leakages in the system.
Exactly. We were the money.
So just to point out, automation is not just about convenience for road users. It was also about making sure that the money we actually get, we actually get it. Because if people are manually sitting there and they are collecting coins and you don't know where they put the money, you can lose a lot of it. So I feel like the roads ministry and the finance ministry, either they have not communicated,
which is very likely.
Engagement.
Yeah, because I will be very surprised if they came back and they said we're going to go back to the same old. I'll be very surprised. And I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I will be surprised that they will come and say manual collection, same unregenerated toll booths.
You see,
I mean, that would be so bad.
What should have been, or what should have happened? This is my suspicion. One, I don't think this conversation just popped up on a Monday morning. I suspect they had been chewing on this for a while. So if really that's the case, and we want to bring back road tolls, in between when we ended
16 months ago
and when we wanted to restart, 16 months is a long time to think through the new phase of toll collection. Are we automating? What are we doing? So that when we are introduced, because you see, like we said, for a lot of people, the inconvenience is not paying. The inconvenience has to do with time lost going to pay.
And if you look at the number of road tolls in toll booths in Ghana, 78 million is very low.
Yes.
Well, people have been stealing the money.
78 million is very, very low because
we are paying every day.
I mean, sometimes you use the motorway 3 times. Anyway, let's do a quick couple of announcements. We're still on the discussion about the Bring International Road Toll. I think there's been a lot of interesting points made by Kennedy. We'll revisit. But if you're seeking to live, work, or study in the UK, your journey begins with the IELTS. Thursday, 16th March, the British Council is inviting you to attend an IELTS exhibition happening at the British Council Auditorium. Starts at 10 a.m., ends at 6 p.m. Come and meet trained IELTS study partners with the experience to help you prepare for the tests. British Council exam teams will also have a presentation on how to start your journey to the UK and take the IELTS test. So this is for teachers, for doctors, for nurses, for different groups of people who want to go to the UK or other Commonwealth countries or even the US. Now, this exhibition is tomorrow, the 16th, and it's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. IELTS is the test for life, work, and study.
Now, fellow Ghanaians, today I've got a riddle for you. I've been a thorn in your flesh for a long time coming. I've poisoned your rivers with mercury and cyanide and caused rampant deforestation and loss of good drinking water. Yes, the answer, Galamsey. And we are all tired of this. We don't want this to continue. And so the government is saying that there are more responsible mining methods under the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Scheme. Respect the laws of your country and help protect the future of your kids. This message is powered by the Ministry of Lands and Resources and the Minerals Commission of Ghana.
Here are some of your comments on the road toll. People, for example, Bernard, don't forget that we were told that government was bringing the e-levy, so we were not going to the IMF. Now we are heading to the IMF and we are bringing back the road toll. So did we go or did we come? My answer, we went. Did we go or did we come? We went. And we've come back.
But to be fair, we were hoping that e-levy would be the money that will rescue all of us. So we won't go to the IMF.
They were told, Sky.
Yeah.
You see,
I agree with that.
You know,
it was bastardized.
One of the things I like about
by
that,
our own actions and inactions as a people.
No. You see, don't let him look like Sky. Bright Simmons, BOG. There were many people who did calculations about the e-levy. And they said that this 7 billion thing, it not go work.
I agree with you.
In fact, if you force me, I'll even pull some of those documents.
I know, right?
So to proceed and say, because if you are going to get 7 billion, then you don't need to go to IMF. But there was no way you were going to give you 7 billion. How are they doing the calculations?
You see, that's what I'm saying. That the level of engagement that ought to have happened did not happen. And then also, let us be plain about it. There was bastardization of the whole idea of the e-levy too in the first place. I agree. No, I mean, all kinds of critics who are about this. And I believe that they have genuine reasons for saying that let's not touch that space. Because the government was simply being lazy.
Sky, the vice president of the Republic on Peace FM was asked a question a few months prior to the introduction of e-levy about whether Momo was going to be taxed.
He said that he didn't think it was going to.
He said it was a good idea. So don't make it look like it's some minority people or some. You see, the e-levy was very controversial, and then the percentage they came with. You see, if they had listened and engaged thoroughly, you said the vice president is the head of the economic management team. He's also the head of the digital plan. How on earth will it be on radio 3 weeks to the e-levy introduction and say there's not going to be e-levy? So my point is that they didn't engage. Finance ministry was acting on its own. Look, we have even units of government that do, look, if you go to BOG, they even have something they call the fintech, what do you call it? They have some new office. So what I'm saying is that even within the government, from the vice president to the Bank of Ghana, there are so many, Achihese and co. There are people there who could have helped you to create a more meaningful tax regime for this system without necessarily leading to the negative consequences we saw. It would appear as if the finance ministry was just basically determined to push this through the way they had calculated it. All right? So if you blame its failure just on opposition, it's not fair. The whole thing was misrepresented in its original presentation.
Bernard, I'm not, you see, I've been very careful how I am celebrating this matter. I am saying that the government itself was lazy. We should not spare the government how it handled this matter. Government was realized at some point that it was in serious red. It needed money quickly. It was too shy to go back to the IMF because it had already even slammed the whole idea of going back to the IMF in the first place. So money that was sitting there, which they thought they could easily reach and use that to bail us out, was what? Mobile money transactions. Because if you look at the reports that you had read on this network repeatedly, we were making a lot of mobile money transactions.
That's true.
Exactly. And these were in billions.
So you should go and
the government took the view that,
don't you tax telcos?
That's true.
Don't make it look like there's just money being wasted. See, Sky, the digital ecosystem is an enabler.
No, but just listen to what I have to. Slow down.
You give me.
So what I'm saying is that government being lazy on how to look at other innovative ways of raising or deepening tax collection in our country, just said that, if mobile money is making so much money, let me go after it. Do you understand? Yeah. Instead of thinking outside the box, because the moment you approach that territory, the people decided that we are not going to use mobile money again.
A lot of people opted out.
Exactly. People have opted out of the system, and that is one of the reasons why they are struggling. Because the conversations continued for several weeks. People became jittery that, my small money that I'm doing, people are paying me via mobile money. Then I'm not going to collect mobile money, cash again. What I will do is, if you want to pay me cash. And that has also impacted what we wanted to do with ensuring that we reduce the influence of cash in the system. We wanted to run a cashless society. But by reason of this policy intervention, if you read several academic papers that I've been written on this matter, the view is taking that this unpopular decision undermined the effort. So I was not surprised that Dr. Baumia, who is seen as Baumia because of things he's doing in the electronics space, would be opposed to the idea. So the government has been lazy, and let's not excuse them. And then also the fact too is that, look, the opposition and all the critics of the whole e-levy agenda legitimately took up the matter and criticized government's own handling of the matter. And they also insisted that, look, government has not been accountable. Several reports from the Auditor General, especially at the time, Domelevo had done quite some great work in the past about what was happening to government resources. And so the conversation was that, look, you can't keep coming back to us collecting money. What you should be doing is to ensure that you are judiciously using the resources.
Let's read some comments from the public. So I feel like there's been some clear points made. Bringing back the road toll may not necessarily be such a bad idea if it is automated. So I think that's the first point we are making. Number two,
or we should do one-time payment.
Yes. So basically the design of so there's a difference between the concept of taxing or tolling a road and the design of how it's collected. So all of us in the studio are saying we have no problem paying money to use roads. We do that in every country. So we will be very hypocritical if we said government shouldn't charge tolls. We all agree. Government has to find money to do roads. What we are saying is that the design must not be counterproductive in terms of making sure that the money collected is not stolen, and also making sure that we who pay the toll don't get punished for using the toll by getting involved in traffic. So that's point one. Point two, how much should be collected? I'm a bit Kennedy was saying 3 to 5 cedis. 1 cedi is too low.
I think that is even too small.
Yeah, so there's a certain, and I think we should be a bit careful here, because the trotro people will tell you that they pay a lot of money for. So I feel
actually use
if I were in policy design, I would punish private vehicle users, because I'll say that if a trotro, let me explain my policy.
Okay.
If a trotro carries 20 people, they are being responsible. So if I charge them 1 cedi to use a road toll, if Richard Sky drives a Toyota Camry and he's driving to work alone, he should pay 2 cedis. So we are basically going to use tax policy to encourage people to use public transport. So the longer the bus, this is an example, the longer the bus, the least they pay. So you're basically trying to say, you don't want to cause traffic in town. So you are killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So you are making private vehicle users pay more for the road than public transport, because public transport is providing a public service. So that's the way I would have done it. So whilst I agree that the 1 cedi is too low, I will not slap it across based on engine capacity. I will use the policy to solve a problem of traffic. A lot of people don't want to take buses, Ayalolo and things like this. So you make it easier for the trotros and the public, the vehicles that are used for public purposes that collect a lot more people to pay less.
But do you know the problem with that? The problem with that is that, look, let's admit it. If the buses or the trotros were in great condition,
Good, that was the point I was about
people
to
will be
make.
using it. I wouldn't mind sitting on a trotro and come to work, because I had done that for so many years as a young man, or my younger self did that for so many years. But what is the condition of the trotro bus?
So you don't think that?
So that's the period.
Okay, let me qualify my point. I'm saying that.
So provide better alternatives.
In an ideal world, they could have used the toll to incentivize the uptake of public transport. In an ideal world, I take your point that public transport is not in the best shape, but I still feel there's a way they can design the toll to for example, if I'm going to Tema 3 times today, and I can take a bus, I should be incentivized to take the bus than to go and pay 6 cedis by paying 2 cedis in and out 3 times. I'm just saying, I don't have the full design. Point number 3. So the issue of automation, we all agree that the amount to be charged can be debated. And I feel because the government is a bit concerned about all the anger in the system, they've put the money at very low. All right. Then the third point has to do with the capping of the fund, which I tend to agree with the minority here that, you know, the discretion given to the finance ministry, yes, the finance ministry pays a lot of things, but road is such a tangible thing that if I pay 100 million, I want you to use the 100 million to do roads. So that act, the 2017 act that capped funds, it's called the, give me a minute, you know these things. It's called the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act. I think in bringing the road toll back, they should amend portions of it to exclude the road
entirely.
Yes, because I feel like I understand the earmarking and the capping, but insofar as it relates to roads, don't forget you speak to Kofi Asare. He tells you about capping of get fund and its effect on schools as well. So maybe various sectors can come together and say, look, let's review this capping we've done since 2017. If we feel like it's counterproductive and it's going to affect the availability of money for roads, they can amend portions of it to exclude the road fund. Okay, that's the point about the road, because again, the majority guy seems to agree that there should be a discussion
around the
level
of capping.
Yes,
you see, the difficulty you have in this space is that the central government is also making payments through the finance ministry at that level.
Okay,
and then also the individual funds, for instance, the road fund, also has the law on its side to make payments. So you have the minister raising the necessary processes, paperwork, and then the chairman of the road fund, they work together to sign and release funds for payments to be made. So where you have a situation where the finance minister is paying for a particular road that has been done, and then there's the likelihood that there will be duplicity, if you like, if I can use that term. So that if the road fund is also made to be paying that, then you pay the same person twice for work done. Then they intervene with this idea of having to ensure that let's separate the rules. So that the finance ministry can also pay at a certain level. But at a certain level, the road fund people should also be paid.
Let's talk to Ahmed Yate. He is the PRO for the Ministry of Roads, just to understand how come this is in the public domain. It doesn't appear as though the roads committee is aware, and also we didn't see anything about automation. All we saw was the fiscal side of the policy. Honorable, that's the honorable Mr. Yati. Ahmed, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and good morning to your team. It's good to know that you're calling me honorable.
Maybe it's a prophecy, I don't know. Ahmed, so for 16 months, the road toll has been off. And then yesterday morning, we see a memorandum from Finance Ministry to your minister with proposed adjustment of the charges. We don't see anything about plans for automation. So the concern here is that, is it just the fiscal? So did we go on break for 16 months to come back and say you are going to pay 50 pesos more? Is that what this whole thing is about?
Bernard, permit me to borrow the terminology of our senior man, Kweku Bakon. He usually uses the word interception. So this, you are discussing a document that has been intercepted or has been leaked to the media, a document that was meant to kickstart the consultation process for the reintroduction of the tool. So it's not a final policy position that you are discussing. If you read the document very well, it's meant for an input. We are here to consult all stakeholders. We are here to engage on a broader level. That's why even the members of the parliamentary committee are not aware of this. So this is, I cannot even say a half-baked policy. No, it's nowhere near a policy yet. We are just kick-starting consultation process. And unfortunately, this document has been intercepted and is in the media, and since yesterday it's been discussed as if it's the final position or the final policy of government. I want to reiterate that this is not the final position or policy so far as the road to. If you look at the document you are having, you can see minutes, even administrative minutes on it. It's clear, it's very clear that that is not how we communicate to the public. We either communicate through a press release or we do an event to announce. The road toll is a major policy decision if you have to bring it. That's why it was announced. The finance minister made it clear during the budget hearing that it will be reintroduced. But this is not how we go about it.
So the document we had is dated 10th March, and as you rightly said, it was basically the amendment of the fees and charges. So am I to take it that there are other aspects of the introduction, like automation, which have also been discussed and planned, but we haven't seen?
Bernard, if we have to we are reintroducing the tool, it will be done in a more better and more how can I put it, more improved way. Not what we used to have. No, we are not going to have that. That I can assure you.
Fair enough. The reason I'm concerned is that the chairman of the committee on roads and his ranking member both didn't seem to even know anything about this until we called them, which is a bit worrying for me, because if Kennedy Osenyakun, who's a very important, he chairs the road committee, he's your main ally in parliament when it comes to roads, he doesn't even know about this, right? He said he actually also saw it when we called him up yesterday, and he has no idea of any automation plans. So if for 16 months you've been discussing automation, how does Kennedy Osenyakun and Governor Saboja, they have no idea of your automation plan 16 months since you cancelled the road toll?
Bernard, we all woke up yesterday to see this leaked document, and I will to really say that it's a leaked document. And as I said, it was meant to start the consultation process to bring all these issues together so that the road toll, we see how best we can reintroduce the road toll. The Parliamentary Select Committee, they are very key stakeholders to what we do, and so definitely we'll consult them. We cannot bring out any tool without parliamentary approval. And so the surprise in this whole thing is just emphasizing the point that I'm making, that this is an intercepted document that for now has no basis. For now, I can say it was just meant to kickstart the consultation process, and I don't want us to read too much into it. When we are ready to reintroduce the tool and we've completed all the engagement process with all our stakeholders, we'll communicate appropriately to the good people of Ghana.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ahmed.
This letter is just a leaked document.
Thank you, Ahmed. Ahmed Yate is the PRO for the Ministry of Roads. So, Nathan, he's saying that this letter is a leaked document and it is meant to kickstart. You know, Ghana, we have our own way.
Yes, to kickstart the consultation. You see, You see what I was saying?
So we are running ahead of ourselves. I mean, I don't know what you think. Is that we have intercepted the document in the media and we are running ahead, but that this is just the beginning.
He actually sounds like he's never been part of any consultations himself. He sounds like he never knew. He woke up one day, heard that people are discussing, and thought that this would be his contribution. I mean, you are telling us that a process to provide solution to a public problem of this nature, you call this a leaked document. What's secret about it? What is secret about it? I think he should get serious with this work. He should get serious.
Maybe he's saying that the way the public discourse has gone ahead of the, how do I put it, of the process.
Which process?
So the minister writes to finance minister writes to road minister. Parliament is made aware. The new charges are discussed, and then they move on to how they will implement it.
What I'm saying is that what they have done?
Yes. So the finance minister wrote to the road minister, suggesting the new fees, and somehow this was just 10th March, and then somehow the document gets into the media. Now, and the point people are making is that, and I called the committee, and they said we don't even know about this.
This is what I'm saying, that even the person talking, it doesn't sound like he himself knew about it.
So he's also reacting to what is being discussed.
Exactly.
Okay.
You understand? And of course, his role is to do public PR, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like a scientific PR to me. The point is this. The whole abrogation, and I'm not talking about suspension, abrogation of the tolling of our highways and our roads was done without thorough thinking. It wasn't well thought through.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So somebody woke up one day and threw the announcement out there, caused panic.
Possibly without due process.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, without due process.
And then did a catch-up in Parliament to try and find an equilibrium to it.
Yeah.
And then the pressure has kept on and on, pressure mounted, and then again, the attempt to reintroduce is being given the same approach. You understand? Now, between then and now, they should show us documents that would have evaluated the use of the road fund, properly so-called. Travel from Accra to Tamale.
But you are just coming back.
Yes, you understand?
It's fresh in your mind.
There are no restrooms on the road. So you see, I'm saying that if you come back after 16 months and say that, we've increased by 50 pesos, I am saying that no work has been done to determine the real use of the tools. Otherwise, you won't come and tell me that it's 50 pesos.
Yeah.
The 50 pesos is
it's almost it's
so insignificant, and it's actually an insult. Why am I saying that? Because it won't change anything.
Yeah, it's true.
We heard before that the money they used to collect could only pay the salaries of the staff who were in the toll booths. Heard that? So if you are coming back and it's about 50%, it means you have wasted our time, you have wasted our money and wasted resources. See, the police people elsewhere, they have places along the highways where they put their barriers, where they keep their cars and all. We don't have some in Ghana. How about building all these rest stops on the major highways to be cohabited with the Ghana police and the security people, where people know that if I'm stopping at the next rest stop, there's security there. You understand? So if we want to go back to road toll, let's look at it in a more holistic manner. How do we resource our roads and our highways? If this money is purposed for that, then how much would it require per year, for instance, to build comfortable or usable restrooms?
Yes.
Or usable, even the toll booths itself. Secondly, if we want to automate, what feasibility studies have we done? How much is it going to cost us? And the automation is normally done in phases. So, for instance, if you get to the toll booth, you have 5 toll booths there. They first start, say, 2 of them will be automated.
Exactly.
And then 3 will be manual. That's how. And then
So those who want convenience can choose.
Those who want, so that it will be attractive for people. You don't sit after 16 months and come and throw the same thing back at us, and then you expect that we keep quiet, take it hook, line, and sinker, and clap for you.
Particularly when, for example, when you enter Legon, there are people who have stickers. When I enter, you can just go without necessarily passing through traffic because the thing just reads. So that option could be available.
And that's prepaid.
Yes. And then there's also an idea about if those, when I go and register for my roadworthy, and you tell me that your average road toll is 500 cedis for the year. I pay that 500 and I get my sticker. I can use any toll in the country for the year. Then
So I'm just saying that, yes, it should come back, but we need a more a better, well thought through process in preparation for this. Because for what we are hearing, it doesn't look like somebody has done the real thinking.
But you know the challenge for me? The fact that even the public is open to even thinking about paying. And yet, the process for even reintroducing the thing is so bizarre.
No, because politicians think that they think that they always have the technical know-how for execution. But they are wrong. They are so wrong. Know how to coordinate as a political leader. And know how to use the resources available, and I'm talking about human resources available. Go to the ministries, go to the universities, go to the research agencies, and see the collection of capable human resources that we have there. All of them are sitting and hearing some of these things for the first time on radio. Go to the Building and Road Research Institute under the CSIR and ask them whether anybody has consulted them. Nobody has consulted because the politician believes that because I've won the election, I become the driver's mate, I become the driver, I am the one who goes to the market to go and buy you. It doesn't work that way in countries that are serious with development.
So we've given too much place to just elected leaders. And institutions of state that are supposed to support the thinking, that have done the research,
just gone senile.
They've put them aside.
Yes.
It's very, so, for example, talk about BRRI, CSIR, and all these things. So, even on air, I can come up with idea about road.
Bernard,
so clearly,
if the BRI just one day, just call them on phone and give it one day, give us a proposal to this thing, you'll be shocked.
What they would have done.
You'll be shocked to know that they actually have the solutions there in their files. Nobody has consulted them. And that's evil.
Okay. So I think we should say to the people, go and sin no more. Go. I made a go. Please go and come back.
But like
people are willing to pay if you do the right thing.
Yes.
So I think that point has been well made.
Inconvenience around paying is what people don't like.
Wonderful. So, since you came back from the trip, as you say, you get fire. I'm sure as you were driving on the road, there was no restroom, and then you had to stop. Tell me, think about it too. You are saying that you drove 10 hours on some occasions.
Yes.
And for some of the stretches, there was no rest stop.
Not some of the stretches, all.
So if it wasn't for like private filling stations, you will not have. So if somebody wants to urinate, they have to urinate on the road.
Just enter the bush.
But is it that? Let me ask you: is it that difficult to? Because when you are in advanced countries, you drive for 2 hours. They say don't drive too long. Take a break, and then you move out for the motorway. You buy food to eat. There's even a place to sleep, and then you refuel. So, and this is not necessary. These are like publicly.
The policy is gone haywire. Look, many years ago, when we were children, I'm telling you, even driving from Accra to Cape Coast, by the time you get to Winneba, there's a rest stop there.
But this is private, right?
Of course, I was too young to remember.
To be private.
But that's where STC will stop.
Okay.
And it's mandatory stop. You get me? If you are going to Kumasi, you get to Enyinem.
Yeah.
There's one there, and the Kwabing junction there. There's one there, and every STC bus will stop there.
Okay.
You understand? So I'm just saying that the idea is there. Implementation is gone bonkers.
Since you are back here, I want to pick your mind because usually when you're on the caravan, a lot of things go to you. One of the things that worried me about the caravan was the waste of land. Okay, and then later I'll say this: when you go to certain countries, even Cote d'Ivoire, there are places you go, you see plantations as far as the eye can see. You can drive for 10 kilometers and it's all farms. I don't know the route you used. But you said you did. I mean, you went to 14 regions, right?
Yeah.
What was the largest?
Have touched every part of that.
What was okay, for me, the only remarkable thing I saw in the Western region was a rubber plantation when I got to Bonsa, which was quite big. But apart from that, I don't recall seeing any major farm.
I mean, granted, we use the main highways, and so you understand that if there are major farms, they may not necessarily be closer to the main highways, so that's given. But that's still makes the point that you see bare large tracts of bare lands which have not been put to any
meaningful use.
Agricultural, in the sense of agric. You see them everywhere. Every region we have been.
So it's just bush.
Bush. You understand? I mean, without even look at just central region. And I say, when I was in secondary school, driving from Accra to Swedru or to Winneba, on the left side, on the right side, were either maize or pineapple plantations. Everywhere. It's like a sea of maize farms. You get me?
So this would be in the 80s.
Yes, we don't have these things anymore. We don't have these things anymore.
But why? Why though?
It's policy. I heard when Dr. Free Akoto did his thing 2 days ago. He was talking about we coming back to concentrate on agric.
Yeah.
And the first
you are rolling your eyes.
The first thing I heard was, look who's talking.
No, we are coming back.
You have
You were
been
minister for 6 + 7 years.
You have been the minister, if you like, the chief executive officer of the agric function of the government for 6 years.
No, but now he'll prioritize it when he becomes president.
I mean, that sounds.
But he's the minister. He's not the president.
No, Bernard. Can we move into another ministry and find out what other ministers are doing? You are the minister. You do the work of the president, but you also advise the president.
Yeah.
So you don't jump off the seat and come and advise us.
Especially when Bernard,
using the 6 years.
Especially when
to now say that we know that
Bernard,
we'll prioritize agriculture.
Especially when
it took you 6 years
in the build up to
guys, you
election, hold on, in the build up to election 2016. If you listed, if you took the MPP's big ticket items, one D1F.
Yes. One village, one dam.
One village, one dam.
Transfer for food and jobs. A lot of things there already.
So clearly it was on the front burner.
Fair enough. I'm trying to do something with this. I'm saying that, so as you drove around the country, on one hand you are enjoying Ghana, you are learning about Ghana, but I had the feeling that it's a missed opportunities all over.
Major.
Because there's so much potential, but almost like if you leave Accra and the little discussions we have in Parliament, it's like we've just abandoned the rest of the country.
Because see, everybody talks about farming, when indeed they're actually talking about subsistence farming. Where,
for one's
self family, has some 3-4 acres and then to feed themselves, and which is okay. But the lever that we need to change the course of our fortunes in agriculture, it doesn't rest on subsistence farming. It's about industrial farming, because with farming and the nature of the tropical offerings, you have a problem of storage if you don't have a ready market. So how do we get back into farming with an already prepared consumption market? Why do you think Burkina people send their onions here?
Because there's a market, people are ready to buy.
You understand? If you don't make it attractive to the next door person, it will get rotten. And that's what we see. Go to the farmlands.
So your point about agric is that now it's a market question.
It's not
just
question,
the production issue.
But we should move into more industrial kind of.
So when we started the Operation Feed Yourself, I noticed this was 2019.
Yeah.
And then we so it was a bit of mixture. We did the rice thing, the Operation Feed Yourself. How did that really go? And where are we with that? Because I still feel there's a production need where money must be put in large-scale production.
That's what I mean by the industrial one.
Yeah, my question to you is, how come it's not kicked off based on the experience of OFY? Is it because I know you did the program, you invited like 12 So many people came. A lot of people said they wanted to enter agriculture. We trained people about how to go in. We brought the finance people. There was a lot of interest, but somehow it didn't really materialize
because we have not been able to craft the markets. That's all it is.
We haven't been able to craft the market.
Yes, we don't have. We see that we never think of the market as a logical complement to agricultural efforts.
Okay.
So people go to the hinterland. They do bring out their produce, and then middlemen from Accra and the big towns go there and underbuy, or there's any word like that. Underprice and buy, mess everything up. You get me? Because if they don't sell, the things will get rotten. Because somebody's into banana shelf life, how long is it going to stay?
Very days.
So if you come from Accra to buy banana, and my banana say cost me 100 cedis, and after 2 days you say you give me 50 cedis, I'm thinking if I don't sell it for 50 cedis, it will get rotten anyway.
Now I know that it's not every problem we identify on Citi that we try to directly engage and solve. So I've listed some things. So we've identified the tourism thing, and for a long time we've discussed it, and now we've done heritage caravan. We've identified the agric thing. We tried Operation Feed Yourself. We did the rice campaign, and then we even did the Made in Ghana campaign type of thing. Now I want to go back to the food thing that we are doing. Which of the problems is it solving? Okay, back to the village food bazaar. Which of the bottlenecks are you trying to use that to highlight?
Is a market
for food or for
yeah, of course, food, because the chain. There's a chain. Farming. What are the offerings of the farming? Food products or produce. Now, food produce come and they are dislocated on the shelves by foreign foods. So we are using back to the village to remind people that each time you prefer an imported food item, this is what you do. You have given a job to somebody in a foreign land somewhere and dislocated your local farmer in Ghana. That's what you have. That's exactly what you have done. If you buy food that is imported, you have empowered another country, another farmer in another country who probably is receiving more money from their government for choosing to go into farming. And by so doing, dislocating that poor farmer from Yamransa Junction. You know, when we're coming, one lady, Sylvia, told me that, Sam, I think we should be doing this more often. When we get to some of these places where you have all these...
Just buy the food.
Even if you don't have anything, just buy the thing. When we got to Yamransa Junction,
the kinky
they swept the kinky like nobody.
And so it's basically the fact that somebody's eyes got open to the importance of a market. You can even see the actions.
Exactly.
So I think the point is that a lot of Ghanaians make buying decisions without knowing that it's part of our economic reality and part of the economic story you are telling. That if you keep buying imported food as against locally made food, it's not just filling your stomach.
No.
You are contributing to either perpetuating a problem or solving it. But I don't think a lot of Ghanaians see it that way.
No, they don't see because of the imageries that we portray in our media. You know, they push lifestyle, a preferred lifestyle, a positive lifestyle. But if you watch the films, the movies, the drama, these positive, so-called positive lifestyles are associated with the so-called foods that are acceptable. It has to be rice of a certain type. It has to be drink of a certain type. And you, without knowing that these are that have been carefully curated in certain countries just to push.
I'll give you an example. No, you know, my kids, when they there's like that today we want to eat pizza. It's almost like they want a reward. So last week they said, Charlie, we don't want Sunday after church, don't cook. We want to go and buy. Then they mention some brand of chicken that they want to go and eat. So in their head, when they see it on TV, if you go and buy that chicken to eat, it means that
I have arrived.
But like if you say, oh, but we are going to fry chicken in the house, they're like, oh, but now it's normal.
Yeah, because that's the imagery that been sold to all of us.
So if they don't eat pizza or go and buy that chicken that Sunday, it's some way. And these are children.
So back to the village. Let's see what kind of foods we can promote. You know, and if we do that, we are just going to empower our farmers.
But let me come back to you. Is there not an onus also on the food producers? So you're going to have like 200 exhibitors. Do they also not have a responsibility to portray the food in a way that will make it attractive? Because you see, a lot of the foreign things, packaging is great. So, and promotion is also great. But here, we don't promote that well. And even, for example, if somebody wants to go to eat fufu somewhere, Miyoko Kubiasi or Miyoko Bush Canteen, and they make it look, they don't spruce it up.
That is true, but Bernard, that's a fact. But we also need to recognize that in the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen some major improvement within the packaging area of our local foods and food packages. And I think it's still work in progress, you know. But the thing is, having the produce, packaging it is 1-2 steps in the chain. Having the shelf in the large shops for people to have access is another one.
All right.
And don't get me wrong, some of these major supermarkets that we see, check, lots of them have come from specific countries. And go back and check the produce
that they sell. It's from the same country.
It's from the same country. They are not here
so,
to joke.
So it means that if, for example, the finance is supporting the setting up of the retail chain, they know that there are like 17 different suppliers and companies from the same country whose products will be bought and sold. So it's not just the supermarket, but it's also all these producers who are part of the thing.
Yes.
So somebody's thinking and putting all of that together.
Exactly.
All right.
So that when you go to their originating country, you will notice that it is a carefully designed policy to promote their own.
Their own. So they're looking for markets for their products, both finished wearing, agric and all of that, as part of some policy.
You know,
so what is our response as a country? Yes, as a radio station, we are doing Back to the Village, which we'll talk about. But Ghana will say we don't have money. We are on an IMF program. We can't go to South Africa and set up another Melcom and sell Make in Ghana goods because the entry barriers are so high. So what the South Africans do, what the European and American countries do, because they have a lot more financial muscle, they may say in Ghana, what's the equivalent? Our market sector is not that big.
Bernard, the process is to start feeding your own country. That's where it starts from. If you go to Kenya, they have the Nakumats. I don't know whether they still have Nakumats in Kenya.
I last time I passed through one. Yes.
You know, they have Nakumats. I mean, Nakumats didn't come from...
so it's a Kenyan retail brand.
Precisely. And they
sells Kenyan
heavily with the foreign ones. You understand? When Lidl and Aldi came to the UK, they had already established themselves in Germany. You understand? They had already established themselves in Germany for the Germans to know that, okay, if you're looking at the low budget retailing for, you know, household consumables, so and so, this is the brand to go. Now, when they established their identity in Germany, the next was to enter into other parts of Europe. You understand? So let's look at how we can do our
So
own.
now let me come to you now. We have spoken about the problem. So we are saying that let's eat meat in Ghana food.
Yeah.
Mention the top 5. Mention your top 5 that you are looking forward to. Mention your top 5 and sell the food to the people. Tell the people what they should come and buy and eat.
They have to come and buy fufu because of the high temperatures. Because now we are averaging 37 degrees. 37 degrees. You know, Charlie, the sun is so hot that you need something heavy to deal with the system.
You need to look for better excuse for fufu.
No, you see. So we are offering fufu, we are offering kokonte, we are offering omuto. You understand? Fufu, kokonte, omuto. Now it's a matrix. That the matrix is dealing with about 6 different types of soups.
I hear you.
So you have abenkwai, you have nkatinkwai, you have goat lice soup, then you have chicken lice soup,
then you have United Nations
you have green soup.
Yeah.
You understand? Before you have the United Nations, aka zoo soup. You know, so that's the one that we.
That's what you are pushing.
Yes.
The fufu angle.
Yes.
But as you said, there are different foods from different parts of the country.
Oh, yes.
And you've also compartmentalized it to make it easy.
Yes.
So north,
For you to
middle,
find,
south.
yes.
So you can go and sample. Bring children along. Will the food be cheaper?
The food will be affordable.
Okay.
You understand? It will be affordable. And so
will it be hot?
Oh.
Will the people bring it from home and sell?
We are not
or
doing.
they will have
They're not packaged food.
No. You can eat there.
So will I see them pounding it?
Yes.
Okay.
The fufu, you see them pounding it
Don't bring it in
or
a sieve.
making it.
Don't bring it from a sieve from the house.
No. Or making it, because there's the one that they
can make.
No, I can't call it.
Fufu powder.
Yeah, the fufu powder one. There will be fufu powder and then the pounding.
There's a walker.
Yes, people are doing a walker
in front of
you. Know that there's even this device that you can even it will make the fufu.
Yeah,
you put the boiled plantain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it taste the same?
Oh, yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Even now, even the powder one is beginning to
taste
the same. So very soon, Chataye will lose his job. You know Chataye?
Oh,
you don't know Chataye?
The guy who makes the pestle.
Chataye.
The guy who makes
the guys who sell the
pestles.
As they're walking, they are holding it.
The profession is called Chataye.
But you know,
so
if you introduce children to fufu powder, which I am trying to do, by the time they are our age, it will be normal.
Oh yeah, but even now it's normal.
It's so normal that
it's so normal. I remember in the maybe early 90s in the UK when they started, Ghanaians in the UK, they were forcing to do fufu with the, so they would buy semovita and then try and do fufu with it. That wasn't working.
No, they did some bangkok with is this semolina or something?
Semolina. They would do everything they do, until the breakthrough finally came. You understand? Now, Ghanaians living outside, they are not using Chataye. They are not using Woma. They are. If you go to New York, there's a Ghanaian chop bar there, and they operate. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they operate 24 hours because one day when they are 1 a.m.
there was fufu.
There were people there. I forget the name of the place, and they do the one that the fufu powder thing, and nobody complains about it. So I think it's getting there, and it's more efficient.
Are there snacks available? You mentioned the heavyweights.
Yes, there'll be snacks. The achomo type, the kuli type, the
polo.
You know
what would be good? If a school brought their pupils to come and do their part of their subject by just studying the foods, and then they'll give them essay competition to write. Bring a bus of class 5 students and say, go back to the village food bazaar and write an essay about the 3 different foods you saw. Because one of the points you are making is about taste and depictions.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids may not see this achomo and thing. They don't even know what it is.
They don't know. You're right.
Yeah. So maybe some people should come with the mindset of coming to learn.
Oh, that's true. Back to your village, 25th and 26th of March at the AMA forecourt. Those who have not registered, and I'm talking about vendors, you can call the number 0205 973 973. Repeat.
0205 973. To register, today is what?
Today is the 15th.
So the event is on 25th.
Yes.
So basically you have 9 days
to get yourself
a slot. What about drinks? If I'm a drink seller?
Everything. Once you're doing locally produced drinks, you're welcome. So we have that.
Do yogurt. They do their own mixtures.
Well, once you're using local materials to do stuff, you should be, let me repeat the number, 0205 973 973. Now there's a limited number of spaces.
So for exhibitors.
Yes, so don't wait till 2 days to time and start harassing everybody.
Apart from the food, what else will happen there? Is it like
entertainment?
Music?
So music, you have the
drama.
storytelling people there, you have Kwampa will be there, we have God's Gifts Brass Band will be there, we have, so, yeah.
Yeah, you be the man, chataye. That's the word for the day, chataye. Time check, it's 9:18. Back to the Village Food Bazaar is on the 25th and 26th. So I sort of took some minutes on this long, winded journey to sort of explain why we do some of the things we do, what we are trying to solve, and the very important point it makes about the media and the depictions. All right. So we can't come on air and say kids want to eat this chicken brand or this pizza brand because they are sponsored adverts, when then we use our airtime to not also promote other things. So it's all, as he said, the people who come and sell, they have a plan. We also have a plan. Yeah. Okay. So the media is not just a business for making money. It's also the platform to change minds. Because if we didn't care about the things we discuss, we wouldn't spend this level of energy we spend talking about them. So, and if you are part of the Citi brand, we want to urge you to take part in it. Okay. If you listen to us and you say you support what we do, Saturday, Sunday, come with your family. Yeah. Grab your 3 kids.
25th,
come with your husband and say, guys, today after church, we are going back to the Village Food Bazaar. We are wearing Citi t-shirt. We are going to sample the foods. We are going to meet some of the presenters. We are going to talk to the people. For me, it's part of the development, because most of you listen to us in the morning on your way to work. All right. You don't want to come and see the presenters. You want to come and experience what we are talking about. So come along. There will be
those who don't eat a lot of these things. Yeah. Please come around and introduce your children.
They eat everything.
Yeah. So we are saying to all those who believe in what we do as a station to come along on the 25th and the 26th. And let's make it a jamboree.
Yes, we're making it Ghana.
Let's tell it big. We're making it big.
Make it Ghana.
Yeah,
so somebody just sent me a message. I think Bernard asked me a specific question regarding what foods
you just mentioned food and then you threw the question somewhere.
No. What I'm saying is that I will, not. So he
I wanted your top 5.
Yeah, that's what I did. But
you gave me one.
No, I gave you 6 different types of. No. And I said it's a matrix.
No, who the food back who different?
No, I said there will be no. I said there will be kokonte.
Okay.
Yes. And then there will be omutu.
Okay.
And that's when I mentioned the matrix.
Okay. So I was looking for 5 classes of foods.
Oh, that's very easy.
But you just
we are doing a prapansa. We are doing eto. We are doing angwamo. You know the angwamo, the one that you do tolobifi. Do you know beefy?
The red one.
Add red pepper.
I mean, you see meat that is painted red.
you have to run. Tolobifi. Oh Lord. So all of that's available.
And then there's the ewe one that we talk about, the fetri,
This guy has run away.
The fetri.
Dechi.
Then you have and then you have the TZ. Oh man, Charlie, these caravan people, they disturbed us.
You didn't get on the TZ.
Everywhere we read, before you get that, everyone has scattered the TZ. So TZ is in high demand. It's in high demand. So we are having everything.
Yeah.
And we are having Agbelika there, the snacks, Agbelika.
No, you're a big man. No, you're Charlie, a big man. No, that's the host, you're a big man. Charlie, I have to pay my bills. So I want to thank you for your attention. I will see you soon.
Okay, and hello to
But did you hear I don't want to tempt you, so I'll let you go. Some people say that they don't want Camry, they want Prado. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
You heard it? Okay.
Yeah. But I think
I want us to discuss it later.
No, but I think it's fair.
Oh, is it fair?
Oh, it's fair.
Oh, it's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair.
No, it's fair.
It's not...
No, it's fair. No, it's fair.
Why?
We may not have the resources.
No,
but these are the controller and accountant general people.
Yes.
They know what we have and what we don't have.
No, but they don't earn it. They just
no. What I'm saying that, but they know who else doesn't deserve it and is getting
but
it.
Their boss put them in check. Their boss said no.
No, but it's okay to ask and it's okay to say no. It doesn't mean
they
anything.
Say it's not fair.
No, it's not fair that there are people who are receiving the thing and every 4-year term they change it for them.
Change.
And we who travel, we are made to travel to all the public institutions in funny parts of the country.
I was hoping for you to come and say you are not saying it. So go. Me, I was hoping you can support me. Charlie, you drive the Camry like that. If you don't, you will reduce it to this thing, to Corolla. Now, let me give you some 2 quick points of information. Enhance your value as a business professional by enrolling now on our practical financial skills training courses. You get paid for your value, not your time. That's why we invite you to enroll on our practical financial training courses starting Saturday, 25th March, 8 a.m. Ask for our special package when you book for more courses: financial modeling and valuation masterclass, business intelligence and data analytics, computerized accounting systems, and next generation Excel bootcamp. For more information, call or WhatsApp 0249 944 442. I'm talking about benchmark training programs. The number to call or WhatsApp is 0249 944 442 for more details. Coronation Insurance is giving up to 2,000 cedis worth of fuel coupons and other amazing prizes in the Coronation More to Win promo. To participate, just buy motor insurance using the Coronation Insurance digital platform. Dial star 789 star 115 hash or visit mycoronationinsuranceghana.com. All fuel coupons are redeemable at any Shell fuel station. Terms and conditions apply. And Vodafone Business presents Too Much Business, the #1 mobile plan for businesses in Ghana. Now, with Vodafone Too Much Business, you have the best mobile plan on the market that gives your business the best value. That means you have the flexibility to choose voice, data, and SMS packages that suit your business's size and ambitions. Get more minutes for Vodafone to Vodafone calls and calls to other networks, and data and SMS in one complete mobile package. How do you do this? Send start to 0507 779 000 or send an email to vodafonebusiness.gh@vodafone.com. Let's talk about Standard Water. Standard Water, can you imagine? Over 25 years in providing water.
Me feel you.
25 years. Charlie, seriously. Now, this refreshing brand of water is available now in sachet, bottle, dispenser, mounted jars, and we can even customize water for your parties and your other special occasions. Standard Water is available for purchase from supermarkets, retail shops, and sales and delivery trucks. For bulk distribution and for enquiry, call 0202 055 703. That's 0202 055 703. This advert is FDA approved. With the British Council's Road to IELTS giving you all the material you need to get your required IELTS score, the online course is valued at just $80 and includes more than 300 interactive activities, 13 advice and tutorial videos, and 40 practice tests. Register today for the IELTS. There's a big event tomorrow. I'll tell you about shortly, Nathan.
Now, Galamsey man and woman chiefs, Papa farmer, Papa soldier and policeman, Mr. DCE, Mr. politician, and Mr. businessman, why do you keep destroying your water bodies? This Galamsey thing must stop. It's time to speak up and finally put an end to illegal mining activities. Respect the laws. Help us protect the future of our children. This message is powered by the Ministry of Lands and Resources and the Minerals Commission of Ghana. Providence Insurance is 40 years. Hooray! Providence Insurance is welcoming everybody to 2023. Those who still don't know we are in 2023. And they are saying that between now and the end of the month, remember to insure your new car or renew your existing motor insurance policy and get a free gift. They are giving out fuel coupons and other branded Provident souvenirs. Rush for your insurance cover now. T's and C's apply. Remember, with Provident Man, you are covered. And the Lashibi Funeral Homes is saying that they've been doing this for 21 years. They know what it takes and they have the experience to help you through your most difficult moments. Call them on 0509 542409 or send an email info@lashibifuneralhomes.com. lashibifuneralhomes.com. That's the website, sorry. Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium. Dignity for the deceased, comfort for the bereaved. Now, ECG, they are informing everybody that they are going on a nationwide revenue mobilization exercise from 20th March to 20th April 2023. Now, they are going to focus on all categories of customers in arrears, including state-owned enterprises, and will be monitored by special teams who will apprehend and prosecute customers who attempt to interfere with the exercise and or undertake illegal self-reconnection after disconnection. Now, the management is advising everybody, especially all customers in arrears, to pay their bills now to avoid disconnection and payment of connection fees. Now, in line with all of this, the head office, regional and district offices of the ECG will be temporarily closed during the period, except for customer service centers to enable total participation by top management and staff. Help ECG to serve you better. For the punters out there, Bet365 is officially live in Ghana, so if you love your sports, there's no better way to get a piece of the action. You can bet across a range of markets, build your own personalized bets with Bet Builder. You can do that by selecting from popular markets. You can also place your bets before the match kicks off or try the in-play betting option during the live game. And remember, Bet365 lets you cash out on your bet early and on selected markets. Visit bet365.com.gh to join. For those above 18, T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly.
When we come back, we continue with our on-air series for the Heritage Month. And we're still within the River Pra Basin. Today, we're talking about the Asin Kushia, the people whose influence has been understated, but now we're discussing. Kweku Dakwanka is joining me to discuss that when we come back. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliance needs, such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know we have laser television, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphones, sound systems, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, just to mention a few. Hisense is the only electronic company in Ghana that gives you 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit any of our showrooms in Accra, also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuase, Sunyani, Techiman, Tamale, Hohoi, Kofodia to purchase any Hisense product at the best price. Hisense means best quality, best durability, best for energy efficiency, best for affordability, best for style, and best for technology. You can always get in touch on 0302 55 0000 or go to www.hisense.com.gh. We are also available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Hisense Ghana. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Your favorite jewelry show, the Jewelry Art Show, is here again. Come and see exciting designs from renowned artists from around the world. Get exclusive discounts from our exhibitors and polish your jewelry pieces for free. Date is 31st of March to the 1st of April. Venue ANC Mall in East Legon. Time is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. each day. The rate, it is absolutely free. The 2-day events will feature ready-to-wear designers and designs that would excite and tickle your imagination. This will be coupled with exciting musical performances from your favorite artists. The Jewelry Art Show is brought to you by NZ Group Limited and proudly sponsored by PMMC and PJL, ANC Mall, City TV, City FM, Sukapa Jewelry, and MFA Jewelry, and supported by Federation of Goldsmiths and Jewelers Association and the Ministry of Tourism. For sponsorship and enquiries, please call 0599 428 555 or send an email to jewelry@nzgh.com. Jewelry Art Show, projecting Africa to the world.
Hey, nowadays germs are in the air. Aren't you concerned?
Concerned about what?
About the children, of course. In times like this, they sneeze, cough, and fall ill just like that.
This is why we need to give our children and ourselves a fighting chance with the maximum protection of Dettol soap. Dettol soap not only refreshes you, but it can be used for bathing and washing hands. So keep calm, get Dettol soap.
Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Dettol is endorsed by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.
This advert is FDA approved.
At the British Council, we know that our experiences in life are what shape us. The things we see, the places we go, the people we meet all make an impact on the future we create. Change is driven by people with dreams bigger than themselves. The chance to study abroad is the chance to make an impact, not just on your own life, but on the lives of the people you left back home. When you experience the world beyond borders, you can discover what's possible for the future you envision. When you set off to further your education abroad, you can return empowered and ready to put your plan for change in motion. Great experiences await when you study in diverse countries like the UK. You can make an impact on your entire community because you took the chance to own your future. It starts with an IELTS test from the British Council. Visit our website today and discover a world of opportunity.
Are you a consistent Tier 3 pension contributor? If yes, Aiko. Citi Pay is rewarding you for the good habits. Access a loan within 24 hours at just 2.5% monthly. Visit our website www.citispay.com.gh and choose what is right for you. Call us on 0595 738121. Citi Pay, we leave no one behind.
Enjoy the best of convenience and security on AT Money. Carry out all your mobile money related transactions on the go. Send or receive cash, pay bills, move cash in and out of your bank account from anywhere at any time. Airtel Tigo Money, your most secured and trusted mobile money service.
Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. My G, if you love sports, there's no better way to get a piece of the action. Build your own personalized bet with Bet Builder and select from popular markets on the biggest sports. You fit make multiple selections within a single match. For example, in football, you can choose first goal scorer and both teams to score to create your bet. Charlie, visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Time check is 9:35. Before we get into the on-air series, quick announcement.
Yes, Vigdank Healthcare Center is saying that you need to visit a health facility very often to get yourself checked out. Now, they specialize in kidney stones, hepatomegaly, hypertension, fatty liver treatments, among others. They use 100% natural medicine in all their treatments. Find them on the Spintex Road behind the Standard Chartered Bank, or call them on 0549951211 or 0502661346. Swedru Secondary School is 64 years. Hooray! The Board School Management Parents Teachers Association and the Old Students Association and the entire PSA fraternity invite all old students and the general public to this year's speech and prize giving day under the theme Semper Cum Optimis, our heritage, self-defense and hope for the future. And it's happening on the 18th of March at the Esther Hansen Ceremonial Grounds at 9 a.m. Chairman Dr. Emmanuel Danso, Swesco 73. Guest speaker, Professor Kate Ado Adeku, Swesco 63, and guest of honor, Professor Elijah Pinto, Swesco 83. All Swesco old students are reminded to be present with their year group presidents. Are you seeking to live, work, or study in the UK? Your journey to the UK begins with taking the IELTS test. Now, tomorrow, March 16, the British Council is inviting you to attend an IELTS exhibition happening at their auditorium in Accra. Entry is free. It starts from 10 a.m. and will end at 3:30 p.m. Come and meet trained IELTS study partners with the experience to help you prepare for the IELTS test. Don't miss this opportunity on how to prepare for the IELTS test to get your journey to living, working, and studying in the UK started. The first 50 attendees will receive a premium version of the Road to IELTS preparatory materials valued at $80 and other online tutorial courses for free. IELTS, the test for life, work, and study.
Ago.
Welcome back to another edition of our on-air series on the Heritage Month, brought to us by the NLA, Development Through Games. My name is Bernard Avle. Today, we want to look at a very, very interesting group called the Kushia people. The Kushia people. Now, you may not know this, but they played very critical roles in 3 different areas. So, they played a critical role in the formation of Asante, critical role in the Kwapim state, and also among the Ga. Kuku Dakwankra is my historian, resident historian. Kuku, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, to be fair, I didn't know about the Kushia group. I always sort of subsumed them under their Sin group, but they are apparently quite distinct. Yeah. Who are the Kushia people? Where do they live?
Okay, so the Kushia people today, the settlement before they are called Kushia, they were Orenchi, and they are Aboriginal Eti people.
Okay.
And later some Aduana people from Ashanti came to join them during the incursion of the other Asans into the area, where they met them at Mofukrom and Prakaseso. So when we reach the explanation will turn out fine. So what happened was that the Kushia or the Orenchi people, their traditional area is Orenchi, and the capital is Kushia, with Nana Praj and some Praj and some as their paramount ruler. So these Kushia people, they were Aboriginal Abrazi or Ediana group. They are believed to be the makers of fire. They invented fire and rain. So they say Ediana Chia Abrade, Aprenchenia Jinsio. So this were this is the the clan group well known as Ojaba, Children of Fire. So this Ediana group were staying there long time ago, and the place where they were staying is called Asasetre. The Portuguese records call the place Asas Grande. That means Asase Kese Grande in Portuguese language, big. So they joined two words, local Asase and then Portuguese Grande, which is called the Asasetre. And this is where this Abrodi group, led by Nana Asasesreku, who was the leader of the Elia Orenchi or Asan Kushia group, were settling. And the land they were settling is between Chofuatimokwa and Hemai. That was where they were staying. And they were very powerful in the area until the Chofu group came and then swallowed them. And because they do not want to allow the new Akan group with their numerical advantage to swallow them, Nana Asasesreku led his people from where they were settling and moved down to the banks of the River Pra. And when they came to settle here, they started organizing themselves. And for the first time, they have a leader called Ampon Senyeku. So Ampon Senyeku was the one who was later called Ampon Kushia. So he organized his people. And they played a very prominent role in trade to the coast. They were gold sellers and send wells to all over their wares to all over the places. So while they were staying there, the other Akano group came. So they keep on moving. And then they went to Prekasiasu, one town there. And then when their leader called Pra Ajinsam, the first Pra Ajinsam called Ajinsam Mmafu, when he came, he also ruled the place. So the town that he ruled became Mmafu Krum. And then they stayed there. So he moved to Krodadaimu, that area. The interesting thing about Ajinsam Mmafu was that he was called Ajinsam, okay, who is believed to be a child of the River Pra.
Okay.
And so River Pra has an appellation Ajinsam that he can take everything for you when he is overflows. Everything that is, they can take it away. He can wrestle from your hand. And this attribute became part of the Ajinsam rulers. They became warriors. So this Ajinsam Mmafu became a powerful warrior who was then the left wing of the new Akani state. So he was the one who was guiding all the trade path from the hinterland to the coast. And he was a resident ambassador of the Akani states. So he came to the case, collect the road tolls, and then protect the road from armed robbers and so on. That was his role. And as a result, he became a very important personality to both the British and then the the Dutch. So he was put on their payroll. And so whenever there's any war, Ajinsam Mmafu is called upon to negotiate for peace and mediation. As a result, his contemporaries called him Ajinsam Mmafu. Mmafu means a mediator or negotiator. So the current stool of Asan Kushia or Renchi is known as Ajinsam Mmafu's stool because of this guy. So this chief fought very well, and then when he died, in fact, he came to conquer Cape Coast. Anybody who misbehaved, the British and the Dutch will call him to come and quell the fight and ensure that there's constant flow of trade. And that is why he was on the payroll of both the Dutch and then the English, as well as the hinterland chiefs who want to have free flow of trade. And as a result of this, when he died, he was fighting with the Eti people. When he died, his nephew, which is Pra Agyensam, came to the throne. During Agyensam of time, Dentro was expanding. They have emerged under their new chief called Kojo Asare, who was well known for playing the local tambourine. So local tambourine is of animal skin. So when you play, it goes like Pwensim, Pwensim. So in the tree, when you are playing, I'll say Obo Pwensim.
Obo
Pwensim, Pwensim. So his name was changed to Bua Pwensim.
Obo Pwensim.
Yes, so the name is not Bua Pwensim, Bo Pwensim. The one who played the local tambourine.
I see.
So his name changed from Kojo Asari to Bua Pwensim.
Who is the progenitor of the Dintra?
Dintra states.
Amazing.
And when Bua Pwensim became the chief, he was in fact state builder who believed in expansionism. But in his expansionism, he is well known for amassing wealth, particularly gold. And he became a person who does not even spend money or gold, which has been dug for 2 days.
Hey.
Every day he needs a raw gold,
fresh gold
to eat. So he earned the appellation Odisika Atom Prada, the one who eats freshly minted gold.
Odisika
Atom Prada. You see, that became his. So he was always on the neighboring states, including Kushia, who had declared independence, to go and engage in gold digging. So this brought a lot of confusion in neighboring states. So Pra Agyensam Umafo was the first to engage the Dintra that he would not bow to them. So when he died, his nephew, Odro Pra Agyensam, that came around the 1695, decided to also follow the footsteps of his uncle. He was also protecting the roots and was put on the Dutch and English payroll. And he started fighting all the people, creating confusion. So he was the first to engage the Dintra in a war. In 1696, the Dintra brought their leader called Kra Anansi. Yes. And then Kra Anansi came to fight Odropra Agyensam. Agyensam was able to repel them and send them back to Abankasiaso, which was the original capital of the Dintra people. And as a result, Kra Anansi retorted that Maya Ajemo Masenemi. Some people believe that is how the name Asen came about.
Maya Ade
Masenemi. But the name Asen apparently means people who have come to pass because they were traders. Because they were always passing to trade from the coast to the hinterland. So this guy retorted and went back.
So then, just for clarity, Abankasiaso was the original capital of Old Dintra.
Yes, Old
which
Dintra.
is quite close to Obuasi.
Yes, that is where they used to be.
New Dintra is much further south.
South.
Or below Chifu area.
Yes, below Chifu area.
I see.
So what happened was that when the guy was pushed back, it didn't take them long for them to do counter-attack. And in this counter-attack, they were able to push the Kushia people backwards. So during those wars, all the Achems the Asen come to settle at a place where they fight. And that place become Ku Asia, where the forces meet to fight. Where the soldiers meet to fight. So where the Ku, that is the war forces, meet to fight. So the place became Kushia.
Wow.
That is how the name Kushia came about.
I see.
And the people they moved from Krogedeum, where they have moved from Prekasesu through Mofukrum to come and settle at Kushia at their place where Orientist Kingdom then found itself. So one day there was an annual tribute that is paid to Buam Pwensim. According to the oral tradition, when he sent, and it is supposed to be a rum of alcohol, when he sent Odropra Agyensam sent a rum of the alcohol to the Dintraken Buam Pwensim, according to oral tradition, when he opened it, a bat flew out of it. So his elders even warned him that is a bad omen and he shouldn't drink, but he drank it anyway and he died. So when he died, Odropra Agyensam was blamed for killing Buam Pwensim. So when Intimi Jakare succeeded his uncle, he decided to invade Kushia and Asen. And when he in the first fight, they were able to sustain him. But within 3 months, he overpowered them and bent the Kushia township to the ground.
And in Team Jakari.
Yes, and he captured Odropra Ajensam, and he was being sent to Abenkasiasu. But no one knows what happened for some strange reason. The guy was able to escape and fled all the way to Kwaman, which is also called Kumasi.
So you spoke about the fights because the Asin people were caught between Fante, Dintra, and Asante. And you're saying this the killing of Buamponsem led to the emergence of Team Jakari, who fought and defeated Kushia, arrested their king. But the king managed to escape. So let's pick the story from there.
So when he escaped to Ashanti, then Team Jakari made a series of demands from Kwamani Heni, who was then Opiamso Osetutu the first. So when he made the demands to this group, who were then also vassal state of Dintra, including Bekwai Mampong and all of them, what I call the pre-Ashanti states. Okay. So, and Kwaman as a powerful state within it. So when he made the demand, including some of them coming to serve and a bunch of gold, the first demand was that Odropra Ajensam has killed his uncle. So he should be given to him so that he can deal with him as the law demand. But this was not accepted. And that led to the outbreak of the war between Dintra and Asante, culminating in the 1699 war called the Feyase War.
The Battle of Feyase.
Yes, the war that occurred, which was fought between 1699 to 1701. It was a series of war, and in the war, Team Jakari and Dintra were defeated, thereby leading to the formation of Asante State. And in this war, Odropra Ajensam, who is well known for his ability to handle swords, because he can fight and wrestle sword from his weapons from his opponent, and that's why he's called Ajensam. And it's synonymous to how River Pra itself also take fence. And this has been known. So Ajensam was made a core member of Otumufua's, Osetutu's army, Akomu, leading charge in the fight. And he discharged himself creditably, leading to the defeat of the Ashanti.
So of the Dintra. So this will be the decline of Dintra and the emergence of Asante. The role that Kushia
played in there. So within this regard, Odropra Ajensam was given a role as a member of the Ashanti Hene's court. Wow. He was a diplomat negotiating for peace and others for the Ashanti. So when the Dutch were looking for opportunity to be friends to Ashantis because they had supported Dintra, the person they had to go and look for was Odropra Ajensam, whom they know already. And so they have to send iron bars and series of things to Odropra Ajensam so that he talked to his Adamfo or friend Osetutu, and he was able. So the Dutch envoy was called Dandel. He was sent to Odropra Ajensam, who led him to Asante Hene's court. But while he was there, instead of him being paid his due for how he has contributed in the making of Ashanti as a powerful state. In fact, Randolph says that since he came to the Ashanti, there was no war that Ashantis could stage without the presence of Pra-Ajensam or Asini Chief. And as a result, Asante himself created an office of Asini Chief within his army. And Pra-Ajensam was there. And so when he realized that he's not given the needed stuff, he told the new chief that has been installed by Ashanti themselves in Dintra, who was Buedu Akafu. And Ajensam was able to convince the guy to engage in rebellion. So according to the oral tradition of Konfanochi, through his spiritual capabilities, found out that somebody at the court contributed to that rebellion. And then when he started talking about Odropra Ajensam admitted that it's him. How can he fight and ensure the victory and everything for Ashanti State and he's not being compensated?
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Fly Emirates first and business class and look forward to a journey that's as incredible as your destination. Start your holiday with delicious fine dining, impeccable service, and comfort that's out of this world. Sip drinks in our A380 onboard lounge on flights from Dubai and beyond. Watch a movie and drift into a restful sleep in flatbed seats. Treat yourself to Emirates first and business class. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
At the British Council, we know that our experiences in life are what shape us. The things we see, the places we go, the people we meet all make an impact on the future we create. Change is driven by people with dreams bigger than themselves. The chance to study abroad is the chance to make an impact, not just on your own life, but on the lives of the people you left back home. When you experience the world beyond borders, you can discover what's possible for the future you envision. When you set off to further your education abroad, you can return empowered and ready to put your plan for change in motion. It starts with an IELTS test. Take IELTS with British Council and get Road to IELTS Premium worth $80 for free. Our most popular online IELTS preparation course equips test takers with hundreds of interactive activities, 40 practice tests, and 13 advice and tutorial videos. Visit the British Council website today and get the IELTS score you need with Road to IELTS and the British Council.
Enjoy the best of convenience and security on AT Money. Carry out all your mobile money related transactions on the go. Send or receive cash, pay bills, move cash in and out of your bank account from anywhere at any time. Airtel Tigo Money, your most secured and trusted mobile money service.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, the most reliable service to make deposits easily with high odds and numerous bonuses on the spot. Register now at 1xBet.com.gh. Use promo code BESTODDSGH to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. Easy to use, easy to have a chance to win. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Adjoa, Grandma looked very peaceful. I was completely amazed when I saw her neatly presented. She looked just like she was sleeping.
You haven't seen anything yet, my brother. You should have seen the care and quality treatment they gave her at Transitions. One man, one room, just like a 5-star hotel.
Wow.
And not only that, we had a dedicated person to guide the family through the funeral planning process.
Are you sure?
Of course. From picking her up to when we lowered Grandma down, everything was completely stress-free. They had all the needed funeral services, caskets, hearse, chapel, and so much more.
This one, dear, no family fights after all.
I'm so happy we made a right decision to use Transitions.
With Transitions, your loved one gets the best of care while the family enjoys a stress-free funeral planning process. Call us now on 0302-634-706. And no, did I tell you they're affordable? Transitions, the funeral people.
So Osetutu then gave him thousands of guns as well as human beings he has lost in his wars to go back to Kushia and rebuild his country. So that is how Odropra and Sam went back to Ashanti, Kushia, and rebuilt his state. And then also help in the initial formation, diplomatic success, and then some of the war efforts of the Ashanti.
Let's talk about the relationship between Kushia
and the Ekwapims. So you've spoken about the Ashanti, we understand this. The Ekwapims are a bit further away because the Akims are next door before the Ekwapims are beyond. So at what point did he have any interaction with the Ekwapims?
So in the 1730, when Prajinsam was having his war, he brought his Fanti allies to his side, the allies to his side. And he also had familiar ties with Chief Menya of Jokwa. So the original ties are there. So what happened was that when the chief Frempong Manso of Kotoku and then the chief of Ebuakwa came together and listened to the police of the Hiliguans who were being maltreated by the Akwamu, and they decided to go and fight under Forikai. Chief Frempong Manso of Kotoku called on his Fanti allies, and they came. And the Fanti allies also informed Odropra Ajensam to come and assist. So Odropra Ajensam led the Asin Nimfa army all the way from Asin and came and helped the Achim and their allies to fight against the Akwamu, and they were able to overthrow the Akwamu power from there, and they fled to the other side of the Vota Hills from their place in the Ekwapim Hills. So this help of Odropra Ajensam helped in the independence of the Hiliguans and then the formation of the Ekwapim states. So this one was in 1730.
A mixture of the Hiliguans and the Achims.
Achim groups.
Yes.
So he came and fought in this war in 1730 at the Battle of Nsechi.
Wow.
And they were able to rout the Akwamu.
So this Prajinsem guy has helped defeat the Dangerous, also helped to defeat the Akwamus, two very powerful groups in the area. That's just
so
remarkable.
After the war, he was going back, and when he reached Rakasa, there he died. So when he died, he was carried, and the people smeared their face with red clay. That is why the Kushia or Renchi state great oath is a bankama. So when somebody wants to say something, and when the Kushia person tell you, "Meka Kuchiafu Enchoma," then it means he's swearing a great oath.
So that was Kweku Dakwankra speaking with Bernard Avle on the Kushia people as part of today's serving of the Heritage Series. Remember, the month of March is our Heritage Month here on Citi 97.3 and on Citi TV. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Before we leave, the British Council's road to IELTS gives you all the material you need to get your required IELTS score. The online course is valued at $80, and it includes more than 300 interactive activities, 13 advice and tutorial videos, and 40 practice tests. Register today. All right, that's our Citi Breakfast Show for the morning. My name is Nathan Kwao. Earlier you heard Bernard Avle. You also heard Richard the Last Guy. Samins was here. Show produced by Caleb Kuda and Fred Jabano. Godfred Odum supported us on the technical side of things. Coming up next is the news at